You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tennessee's losing streak is no more in basketball, and a legend in his own mind has flown the coop, and we're all the better for it. Sean Sinclair is going to join today. Brian Hartman in the house. The great, and I do mean the great, Watson Brown coming up here in a mere matter of moments. But first, ladies and gentlemen, a brief timeout. Why? Because I got up late and I'm still getting ready as we continue with more. It is your Tony Basilio. How professional of me. I mean, I was only working, till like 11:30 last night, but who's counting? Hey, Cinco, do you miss Legend Bay? One thing we never did over here was simp for Legend Bay and act like he was never going to leave when he was always going to leave, Cinco. I ain't simping.
Oh, absolutely.
Simping ain't easy.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's addition by subtraction, Cinco, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, who knows what kind of player he's going to be, but look, can't and won't always end up with the same result. So if a kid doesn't want to be here,
Yep.
I wish him the best and we move on. It's as an old man, I've learned that when you allow people to leave that want to leave your life and wish them well, your life gets a heck of a lot less stressful.
And they should have done that when, Sean? Back in the summer.
Oh, we advocated letting Boo Carter. I'm not rewriting history either. I've seen it before where malcontents never change their stripes.
Yep. This is a lot of interesting stuff here. We'll talk about the impact of Legend Bay, the impact of the win last night, the impact of all that, because it's all ahead as we continue. It is your Basilio show on a Wednesday. Watson Brown coming up. Watson's been given the assignment of breaking down the film from this kid from Old Dominion. I want to hear what Legend Bay thinks of him. And Dr. Z DDS, Cinco, wants to know if you consider Legend Bay a VFL for his brief time in Knoxville. Because he did bolster our signing class. He did bolster our signing class, Cinco.
I do not. I do not. And signing class rankings are about as irrelevant right now as anything out there, I guess. I can't finish the thought.
Well, as the shave I just got, you go. I just shaved the top of my head a few seconds ago, and what could be more irrelevant?
Yep, and let me tell you what I'm about to jump on. I love those folks on the
commenters?
Your YouTube. Yeah, oh yeah. No, I'm not kidding. I when I'm watching your show during the week, I listen to it. And I engage a couple times here. They think I'm a stooge, and that's okay. Most of my family does as well.
Cinco has a great line, which I quoted today in the blog, about guys like Legend Bay, and that is, Cinco, when it comes to their recruitment. Go ahead.
Almost always goofy recruitment, goofy career.
Mm-hmm.
and a kid that's been to multiple high schools, is indecisive about where you want to go, etc. That thought decision making pattern rarely changes.
Cinco, do you think they paid his mother some money for that commitment? When he stood up there, the mother and the brother talked him into the commitment. Do you think that Legend Bay, what do you think, Sean? Do you think Legend Bay the family got a little money for making that splash on signing day?
There's no way for me to know, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's this is the Wild West here, man. I don't, it's perhaps some of the, I don't know the intricacies of these contracts, but which is funny. You know what? Here we are talking about contracts. I saw a thing on somewhere that Lenore Sellers is re-signing with South Carolina. People talking about multiple bids for this Sorsby kid. And here we are still trying to cling to this concept of amateurism and how this money is for their name, image, and likeness. When, again, I said it previously, the only 3 college football players that I can remember in a national campaign that would justify that kind of expenditures are Arch Manning, Travis Hunter, and Shedeur Sanders. If the other ones are out there that have a national marketing campaign, I just haven't seen it.
Well, at the end of the day, the other thing, and you're right about that, because it's all a big game of pretend. And if you think for 1 second, I was comparing notes with one of my friends in the local media, and who's sort of on the everyday beat, and we were going back and forth, and he was like, well, the NIL, and you got to still, and they're still, and I'm like, if you think these SEC schools are worried about some clearinghouse and whether or not a guy is going to get approved by some people in Zurich, Switzerland, or wherever they are, you got to be out of your mind. Out of your mind. Because they could care less.
I agree with that, and I'll tell you another thing. I'm not one to boo kids. I'm not one to do anything, but Legend Bay apparently makes this decision when he turns 18.
Yep.
Fine.
Sure.
I truly want that young man to go to school where he wants to go, and him live with the consequences, both good and bad. That's on him.
Sure.
If he doesn't want to come here, I don't want him here, and that's fine. But these kids are professional football players now. If they get an education, fine. If they make some connections here, that's fine too. But they're professional football players. So, if people want to criticize these players, they're not kids anymore. They're not. They all have agents. They all have entourages. They all are little mini industries for their parents. You know what? If I'm all for if a kid, like, we'll talk about the Jake Merklinger, who I guess just went into the transfer portal. Do I think that Jake Merklinger came and said, hey, guys, I'd like to read? No. I think that there probably was a discussion, bro, your NIL budget just went down to 1/10 of what it was. Okay, well, I'm moving on.
So
I think that's fine. I think you should be able to cut kids.
One thing we didn't do is pretend. And by the way, we're live tomorrow over at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Or Friday, rather. Live Friday at Smoky Mountain Brewery. I was going to say tomorrow, sweetie, on the screen. Oh. She put it up on the screen. I just read it. And then she says, well, it's Friday. And I said, well, why is it up there tomorrow? If I can't trust you, who can I trust? How am I supposed to know what day it is? In this life I lead. One thing we never did here. I might have gotten led on a wild goose chase on the DC coordinator hire. But when we're wrong, we really hear about it, and people like to really. But the Legend Bay thing was an issue from signing day on, and we never pretended here like it wasn't. Because when a kid shows you his cards like that, I'm not going to simp for a kid. I refuse to. You know why? Because simping ain't easy, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Simping ain't easy. And I ain't about to simp for some 17, turning 18-year-old kid. I mean, what in the world are we doing here? And like Sean said, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. One thing that Nico 99 taught us, and another thing that this guy Carter taught us, is you're better off without them. You're better off without those people. And to folks that get emotionally involved in this stuff, and he's never going to do that. He's not going to do. Of course, he's going to do that. He told you he was going to do that. He was always going to do that. Believe the Instagram. Hey, this guy the Eagles have playing wide receiver that pops off on social media every 3 months. That's who he is. The guy reading the self-help book on the sidelines, playing like he's a great teammate. Titan fans will tell you who the guy really is. Believe the social media account, okay? Because that's who they really are. Believe the social media account. Believe the social media account, okay? Believe the social media account. When a kid comes out and says, I'm going to do my own thing, I mean, don't cover for that. Why are you covering for him? Believe the social media account. Don't simp for these people, man. I mean, let's all do this, okay? Let's all be better from this. Can we all be better? Can we make it better today? Can we believe what's in front of us? And quit trying to write your own narrative? The kid told you what he was going to do. Believe it. Believe it. And to our head coach, Sean, I want to believe this. I want to hope and believe that he said, you know what? Cut this guy loose. Screw him. I hope he's learned.
I want to believe that too, but I bet there were people that got into his ear. And hey, I just want to shout out to one of my boys here. This is Hall of Fame right here. Heupel's Razor suggests that he said Bay lasted as long as Mark in Columbo does watching the Kiffin documentary. Feel me? That's great.
Sean found the chat.
The chat's fantastic. Even if they're ripping me, it's still probably true and still funny. I don't care.
Listen, simping ain't easy, man. Quit simping for these people.
It is what it is.
Quit simping for these people.
It is what it is.
And when you see something on social media, Eagle fans, the brown guy, he's really he's not really like. Of course he's like that. You know what that brown guy cares about in Philly? He cares about himself. And if you win, you win. But that's who these people are. And when a guy comes out on social media and says, I don't want to be there, you kind of believe that. What I wonder, Sean, is how much money exchanged hands with the mom. Don't you wonder that? Because obviously they got that family to do that somehow. It's kind of fun, isn't it? To think about.
It is, and it's interesting that Austin Price, who I think does a fine job over at VolQuest, he posted something a week ago, I believe, about his interactions with Legend Bay, and in no way would you construe from his interactions that the kid was forced to come here or what have you. So, you know what? I guess that's the cost of doing business in this day and time. If people double dip and get you out the side door, but whatever.
We take a brief timeout and come back with more on the other side as we roll it back and come back. 865-200-5402. Hey, Temptress, or whatever your name is, Temp, take your little post down or I'm blocking you. You got about 2 seconds after this.
Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations. Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall, the ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall.
Calhoun's invites you to leave the cooking to us all holiday season long. Between now and the end of the year, feast without the fuss when you host at the holidays. Don't you dare cook. Go absolutely next level with this offer. Between now and the first of the year, Calhoun's is offering an incredible deal on delicious turkey or prime rib dinner. You could feed from 5 to 10 people at your home holiday gathering, not lift a finger of preparation. The turkey dinner comes with amazing sides like mashed potatoes, peas, melt-in-your-mouth gravy, dressing to die for, fresh rolls, cranberry sauce, and homemade cheesecake. And that prime rib dinner features amazing melt-in-your-mouth prime rib, fresh mashed potatoes, au jus, green beans, gravy, rolls, horseradish sauce, and delicious fresh baked cheesecake. This amazing offering is available now through the new year. Call to place your order today. More information found at holidayfeedpack.com. Again, that's holidayfeedpack.com. Feast without the fuss this holiday season with Calhoun's, the taste of Tennessee.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com, or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com.
Cold weather is on its way, and keeping your home warm and cozy doesn't have to cost a fortune. Upgrade your HVAC system with Pipe Wrench Home Services and get payments as low as $137 per month. You'll also save on utility bills with a new energy-efficient HVAC system to keep your home warm and comfortable through the holidays. We make it easy with free on-site estimates on replacements and free second opinions on repairs. So call or schedule your appointment online today at pipewrench.com and get a new energy-saving HVAC system for as little as $137 per month. We are committed to keeping your home cozy and worry-free this holiday season. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
TB back with you,
Offer good
86.
with approved credit. Some restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
CJ, you get me every time there, man. As I welcome you back, 865-200-5402. Those false finishes get me every time. Those of you that are musically inclined, and even if you're not, if you listen to music, stop time is very valuable. The mixing of what is tickling your senses and then all of a sudden a pause can be very powerful. Watson Brown's going to join us coming up on the other side, top of the next hour. We have a couple blocks of calls here if you want to get in with us at 865-200-5402. Tony Basilio, we got Sean Sinclair with us. Brian Hartman was in with us for about 100 minutes last night on our Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime. Vols with a huge win last night. And Big R, Roger Williams, one of my ball-knowing buddies who played for the Tennessee Travelers back in the day. Said he's got to give Pat Kelsey a lot of credit. The guy's a world-class hardhead. Here's the deal with these basketball coaches. These guys get a system, okay? And they would rather lose a game than deviate for their system for one basketball game. College basketball is the strangest sport in the world like that. I guess because you have 30 games or 30 some odd games, and over the course of a year, you're going to be able to wear people out and play your system. But these guys, man, you talk about a group of people that are high on their own supply. That's these basketball coaches. I'll never forget the story about when Nate Oates was early at Alabama, and Rick Barnes' staff told him, run out there. Their strategy is going to be to run at the line on them, and they won't take mid-range shots. And he didn't believe it. And the whole night they ran at him. And the whole night. And he kept turning around going, they're not shooting mid-range. And they were like, yeah, we told you. That's no mid-range. So every time Tennessee played Alabama from then on in, guess what they did? They ran at them. Guess what they did last night? No freshman point guard. You're getting smothered. You're getting smothered. Backup point guard, you have no chance. And the Kelsey guy, there will be no alteration to the way we approach the game. And so really, that game was over, 7 minutes into the game. All Tennessee had to do was run down the court and make their layups, and that game was over. So, and it was a huge, huge victory. Me and Matt had a disparate opinion on this yesterday. He said, well, it's really not that big. It was a huge game. It was a huge game. And one of the things that C shared with us last night is that nobody at the end of the year is going to have on their resume wins over Houston and Louisville. Two wins like that. Nobody will have that. And if there is somebody, it'll be like maybe a handful of teams.
It'll be a Big 12 team.
But for the most part, it's going to be very difficult to duplicate that. So, but Nega Dave last night, for those of you wondering, you ought to go back and listen. But he called in and he did his little bitter apple deal. And finally, I asked Nega Dave, I said, well, say something positive, please. Nega Dave goes, go win tonight. But, if you can't have that carry guy on the floor in last minute. How do you put it, Bri?
Well, it's Dave. It's Dave. I want to say something positive.
He goes, you
Interesting.
He goes, you can't have that carry guy on the floor in March, late in games. I'm like,
can't play in late.
Why? Why, Dave? Can't shoot foul shots. I'm like, well, nobody can shoot foul shots on our team. Yeah, and? Now, I do think the Vols are still, though they have 2 loud wins, I still think that team has some issues. And we've got to see our Spurgeon Chapel buddy Berg, who hones his skills at Spurgeon Chapel out in Oak Ridge in the church league out there. When he's not, he looks just like a church league player. He's got a church league body. Cinco, how did the Vols get Legend Bay to sign that paper? How do you think that happened? Do you think they paid him? Paid the mom? Somebody got paid? What do you think happened, Sean?
No, I really believe that there was a scenario where he was going to sign with Ohio State,
right,
and they got back in touch with once Hartline went to South Florida.
Yep.
That the family reached back out of maybe a little bit of a doubt, confusion, what have you. He was going to be his position coach. He's obviously prodigious in putting out or prolific in putting out wide receivers to the NFL. Great wide receivers, by the way. So maybe there was some doubt there. They called back to Tennessee, said, "Hey, is that offer still available?"
Yeah.
And Tennessee said, "Sure, we'd love to have you." And then the kid may have had second thoughts. I mean, a lot of times these kids, when they go on visits, they get hostessed, we'll say, or they meet some friends up there, we'll say, or what have you, or they get enamored by the tradition. Look, any kid that wants to sign with Ohio State, it's hard to fault them. That's a factory right now. So I don't think Tennessee came in last minute and said, "Hey, if you switch to us, we'll give you this amount of money." I believe that the Bay family initiated that contact.
So you don't think any money changed hands?
Oh, I think that.
I mean, that's what I'm.
I don't
I'm
know,
if they get that
but I
money
would
back.
not doubt that there's a deposit when you sign the letter of intent. There's an initial deposit that's put in.
I wonder how much money, because that's a loud pop. You get on signing day from that. And I just wonder behind the scenes. I mean, we would have no way of knowing. It's kind of like, and I want to talk with Watson about this. This quarterback market that Tennessee's in now, and they are in the market. See, that's another thing we don't do here is pretend. This Merklinger guy, you know how much of a chance he had of being here? About as much chance as I do of being like getting all the facts right between now and the end of the show. Because I will butcher some names, some numbers, what have you. The details, I should say, not the facts, the details. We never pretended here. Merklinger was never going to be here. Now, they paid Merklinger a little extra money to stick around. He became an insurance policy. He thought the job was going to be his at one point. We all knew that wasn't going to happen. But, so now he's gone, and my voice is about gone. But we're going to go to the phones. 865-200-5402 if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix. So, we got a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and go to the phones. I just wonder how that recruitment of that kid works, and when a kid does that to you, or you pull the plug on a kid, does he get to keep his money? Do you get to keep the money? You know, and like, what if it's a significant amount? You know, like I was in the blog saying, hey, take that money that you were going to pay him and use it for whatever, but can you get the money back? I don't know. I mean, say it's like $500,000 or something. It's a lot of money's flying around out there. I was talking about this yesterday. Brian, did you see the Georgia Tech quarterback that's going to go to Florida? They're doing the same thing that Vanderbilt did.
Andy, yeah, I did.
So that was
and you talked
man,
about how that kid, you know the father of that kid, right?
Well, that was a young man whose father is from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Rob Philo. He's a Tennessee graduate. And Laura and I, we grew up with him. Like, and Cinco would know that guy's face because he was around a lot. He was around me a lot. And his son was he's the all-time, if you look him up, he's the all-time leading passer in the history of Georgia football. And he broke the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jags. He broke his records. But he played in like a smaller division, so people wondered if he could do it like they always do. Apparently, his offensive coordinator thinks enough of him that he's gotten this great opportunity at Florida. And they're saying out there that they're going to pay this kid $3 million, Bri. And he played.
Well,
I'm not saying he can't do it, but it just shows you the market.
He's going to have better coaching than he would have with Napier.
If he's going to a place,
then Lagway got, I should
Sean,
say.
if he played as a backup
It's
quarterback,
it's the exact same coaching. His coach from Georgia Tech's going there.
Yes,
right.
So my point is,
exact same coaching.
He played sparingly, Sean, in like 2 football games for them, but they obviously saw him in practice every day. They're paying this guy $3 million apparently. Some of these guys that Tennessee is trying to get involved with are like north of 4, between 3 and 4. Some of them want 5, Sean. And until they reel this thing in, this thing's a runaway train, man. Until they reel it in.
It is, and I don't know how you do that. I mean, for decades they've been trying to. You've said it yourself. This thing's going to run out of money. The money's going to dry up. This, that, the other. It never seems to. I mean, the words were. It's what is it? Almost $300,000 for Albert Means back in the day, which seemed like. I mean that seemed like stacking $100 bills all the way to the moon.
Yep.
At that time, and now it's $5 million from someone that's basically been a scout team quarterback. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. And there's a backup quarterback at Notre Dame who's originally from Nashville, and God knows what he wants. A guy played like 5 minutes at Notre Dame. Go look at his numbers. I mean, if you're going to bring him in and play him, just play McIntyre. And that's almost where you are here with this quarterback deal. It's like, how committed do I want to get next football season? That's the internal conversation that they're all having. The problem is you don't have a buffer. You don't get any understanding from fans. The guy at Indiana has completely changed the calculus on everybody. When Nick Saban first came to Bama, he got Philip Fulmer fired. That's what he did. He got a lot of people fired. Now he got the next guys hired for a much higher price.
He got Meyer got him fired too.
Saban got everybody fired. Okay, and then you look at this guy at Indiana. They look at him and they go, "You just add water. Stick it in the microwave oven and just add water. Heupel, you're in your 6th year. You can't win big next year." Here's the problem. If I spend $5 million on my defense, I want to believe they save money with Legend Bay, but who knows? They might have taken the money and run, Steve Miller Band. But I want to believe you save some money there that you can use on a playable player or two. What do you think a Legend Bay costs, Cinco, in today's market?
Well, I wouldn't know, but there's no question in my mind that those things are made in installments. There's no way that an organization like Spire is going to write the whole check, deposit that. That'd be foolhardy.
Yeah, it's I guess
you got a little. You want to hear a little twist in the college football world here.
Hit it.
So a guy that showed up on the news a few weeks ago, Frank Wilson, has now been hired by Ole Miss in a little switcheroo.
Yep.
That's a good move by them.
And is he still coaching LSU in their bowl game?
Yes,
he is.
He and Lane Kiffin have mega heat. He is the guy that has the keys to a lot of the kids in the kingdom down there. And one of the first things Lane Kiffin did when he went down there was alienate the guy. Because Lane Kiffin has the personal awareness of a snail. We'll go back to the phones. Just a very, very, very odd guy is Lane Kiffin. We're 2 days away from the playoff games, and we'll get Watson Brown's feeling on the beginning of the playoffs. I was playing our board that we have for the upcoming bowl games, trying to pick against the spread in these bowl games. Totally flying blind. What do you mean? I don't know who's in and who's out. Do you? In these lesser bowls? I don't even know who's in and who's out in our bowls, and I cover the Vols. Okay, let's look at who's out. McCoy's been out all year. He's out. The guys that are in the portal, they're out. Arian Carter is out. Brazil is out.
Jake Merklinger's out.
Yeah, he's in the portal. I don't know about I think Joseph's is going to be out eventually, but he hasn't announced it yet. But I think he's going to be out eventually. But who knows? And then on the other side, Illinois got most of their team in, but their leading tackler's out. Both quarterbacks are going to play. But in some of these games, like you look at it, and there's like 25 opt-outs. Like, why even send a team? And Brian and I were talking yesterday off the cuff. Man, we get to look at Old Dominion. We get to look at that quarterback tonight. No. I sent Watson Brown a couple of video reels of that kid, and I want him to break him down scientifically for us. But we'll go to the phones to get as many people in here as humanly possible. 865-200-5402. This Carter guy, Josh Carter, I love you, love your show, but you're living on Fantasy Island. Listen to what he said, Sean. Cignetti isn't a good recruiter. He wouldn't be worth a damn in the SEC. They played 2 tough games this year.
Well, I hate to disagree, but that Indiana team would put up 50 on us so fast, we wouldn't know it hit us.
They would beat the absolute hell out of us, Jay Carter.
They would beat the living dog, you know what,
yes,
out of
they
us.
Would. They would. This year, they would have smoked everybody in our league. Smoked. Now, I do think Georgia's got a chance to win the. If they had played our schedule, they would have run through our schedule. If they'd have played Georgia when we played them, they would have beaten them like a drum. Let's go to the phones. That Georgia defense
Texas,
we saw
easily.
Oh yeah, that Georgia defense we saw. Come on, man. I mean, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. He's not a good coach, Carter. He's a great coach. And the SEC this year was, where were the great teams in the SEC? There was pretty good teams. Hello and welcome in. You're on our Wednesday edition. Watson Brown coming up.
I'm on.
You are. Go right ahead, my friend.
Hey, man, boy Billy from Harriman. Hey, happy birthday, bro.
Hey, boy Billy in Harriman. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, we're good over here, bro. I heard you yesterday talking about Kevin O'Neal, bro.
Yep.
Talking about that smart mouth he had, man. And 1997, Kevin O'Neal, UT basketball camp, one-on-one tournament champ. You talking to him, bro.
You were the one-on-one tournament champ?
You know it. My age group, man, about 7th grade or something like that, 8th grade, I don't know.
So I've got a certificate of authenticity with this. Those watching one of our visual presentations, either over on Elon's platform or on Google's platform, but this is an autographed Kevin O'Neal. It was a bit of a playboy in his day here, but there's an autographed Kevin O'Neal 8x10 that I found at one of the local Goodwills. Autographed in silver Sharpie, still holding up 30 years later. And I hope that warms your heart, brother. What was your patented move, boy, Billy?
Kevin O'Neal, I saw a Hallmark card that he gave to Bill Webb, the old track coach, when Arkansas was winning SECs every year. Tennessee went down there and they won at 95. Bill Webb came back to a Hallmark card, and it said, "Wait up, the Hogs and the." You can fill in the blanks as you want, but I've seen that card, man.
Yeah, he was classic now.
All right, man. Hey, I got work to do. It's my time of year, man. But I got my end of the year wrap up. I'm trying to do for you. I got my synopsis of how this year went on this radio show.
Boom! Oh, you got it right now?
I'm ready for you, bro.
I love you, boy, Billy. No wonder Bino likes you so much. Hit it.
My God. All right, Category 1, Caller of the Year. Negative. Took over the show. He's a force, man. Can't be touched. Nobody close. Guest Host of the Year. Runner-up, John Adams, the old newspaper guy. But my champ, my boy Bean Comet. Not Bean Star like you call him. He's a shooting star. Love that guy, man. Get well soon. Sponsor of the Year, We Ship Floors. The reverse negative coupon brought the house down. Love it. Saying of the Year, got a two-way tie between and Pop His Top. I love it. I love it. Pop His Top. I love that one. NC2A, College Football Announcer of the Year. Runner-up, my boy Kirk Herbstreit. Category winner, everybody else is tied for first. I hate that Herbstreit guy, man. All right.
That's a great line.
The Saudi Aramco Class of 2037 Rising Star Award. Hands down, Megatron. Can't wait to see him in uniform. The Line of the Year by a local sports personality. Of course, you already know this one. Goes to Danny Dimes at the dinner party. So do you have the check for $1.5 million into the hearing aid? The Show of the Year, I got the Garza fifth quarter fan call-in reflection show on the Bama game. That was epic, bro, going till 2, 3 in the morning. You know, everybody calling about the pick six, 200 calls. They don't stop till 4 in the morning. My recurring guest of the year, coming on later, is my boy WB, no doubt about it. Send him another box of meat. Biggest letdown of the year. I got an honorable mention. This is my honorable mention. Is every time y'all say back to the phones we go.
And never go back to the phones. That's a great bit. Isn't that a great bit?
Yeah.
Boy, Billy, that's a great bit, isn't it? Back to the phones we go. I'm glad you're picking up
come on,
that.
Man. Honorable mention. But, hey, the champ for this one,
yeah,
biggest letdown of the year, goes to my boy Florida for not calling in, not showing his face about 10, 12 days after that game in the Swamp. And then my last category, in my book, it's my book, local sports radio show of the year is the Tony Basilio Show on the Tony Basilio Network, hosted by the bald son of a mushroom farmer and mandolin extraordinaire, the Tony Basilio.
Oh.
You heard it, bro.
Boy, Billy, you pop me, man. Love you.
See
Boy,
you, bro.
Billy pops me.
A close second to Back to the Phones. A close second to Back to the Phones bit is Copper Card is in the mail.
I like when people call me and they go, "Where's my gift card?"
You know, another bit that people need to round into. Can you hear us, Vince Keller? Is I just lost my train of thought. Oh, is when we take scores.
And taking scores.
Taking scores that's a great bit.
Well, the greatest thing is Friday when people will start giving scores and we're not taking scores. And I'll even say to some people, we've never taken scores. And
you got that one?
And
you got that one? No.
And then I'll say, and then I'll tell them we already have.
We got that score.
And they get a score.
Can I remind everybody of the greatest bit of all time? In my book. So back in the day, we used to talk about how we had this get together at Tony's house or at local establishments where we would go over film and we would go over and we would talk strategy, etc. And Tony would sell it and I would talk about how I might be late that night and everything. No names here. We had people calling up and asking us if there's any way they could get in there. They would actually bring food, what time to get there, et cetera. It was the greatest bit of all time.
That film study. Captains of Industry wanted into that film study. Hello and welcome into our next call. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I was just hanging on. I was trying to find out the frequency you're on AM and FM. I've been having trouble finding that.
Yeah, we've got a transmitter issue right now, man. That's why you're not finding it.
I couldn't find you on the radio.
That's right.
Today.
Transmitter issue, brother. But you do have a phone, right?
I do. I'm listening to you on the phone.
There you go. That's the world we live in, my brother. Thousands and thousands of people
am I going to get cut off?
Through their phones. Cut off? What do you mean?
I mean, are you going to cut me off, or will I be able to listen to your show?
No. We have an app. You go in there and download Tony Basilio's show, or you can go to YouTube and watch us on your television. But everybody listens on their phones now. They have their phones in their pockets. So,
right.
Do you have a phone that has like a smartphone capability?
Oh yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So if you look our name up, you can download the app. We have several thousand people that have downloaded it and listen here locally and then all over the world. It's a beautiful thing, my friend.
Well, I'm still kind of old school.
Yeah,
Tony.
Me too.
Let me ask you one question. You don't know who this is, do you?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to give you a hint, and maybe it'll bring back some memories. Do you still have that Philadelphia Eagles lamp?
Oh, absolutely.
And who bought it for you?
Bob Williams.
Bingo.
The great Bob Williams of Clinton.
And who bought you one time out in Clinton? That's my dad, Bob. One time you came out as a guest speaker at the Optimus Club in Clinton, and my mom and dad bought you an apple pie.
Bobby is an absolute sweetheart. May she rest in peace. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we got a kick out of it because when you left the restaurant that night, you had that apple pie in the box. I think it came from up there in that really good
Apple
place.
Barn. It was from the Apple Barn. Yep.
Anyway, we got a big kick out of it. You were carrying that apple pie in that box under your arm.
I was
kind of sideways.
Yep.
We we were thinking, oh my gosh, that apple pie is going to turn into applesauce before you got home.
Well, you know what's funny about that is
What's
that I always get yelled at because I carry things like that. Like, Laura's had me go out and get pizza sometimes, right? And
Yep.
I'll bring it back, and I've got it turned sideways because I put things under my arms, not thinking. And she's like, "What are you doing? I want stromboli, not pizza, Tony. I mean, I want a pizza, not stromboli. You're making my pizza stromboli." But hey, listen, I love your family. Theo's my guy. I love Sleepy. We hear from Sleepy every once in a while in our basketball deals, and we've seen him down through the years at basketball watch parties. But I love y'all.
I wish TR would call in more often than he used to. He used to be a really regular.
He's a
on
great
your show.
caller. I love him. He's got great passion. He cares about people. He cares for our animals. I love TR.
You know, I don't know. I've always thought, and even though he's my brother, I've always thought he's one of the greatest UT fans.
No,
I mean,
no
if
doubt.
you see somebody go in the stands, you know. My dad always used to tell us. He said, you know, those flags that they wave at the game, they don't make any noise. But when you got a fan like TR, he's making noise.
Oh, no doubt about it. And here's the thing about TR. You'll love this, right? When my kids were real young, before they would leave to go down to do a show with me at Calhoun's, Laura would say, "Hey, put some orange on in case TR sees you." And to this day, my kids will say, "Put some orange on in case TR sees us."
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because if you don't have orange on, he gonna jump you.
Well, that goes way back. I mean, to the days of Ray Mears when he wore his orange sport coat.
Yep.
TR, he always wants those coaches over there to have on orange.
Yes. He did TR did a bit on here one day about, he goes, "Barnes doesn't wear no damn orange."
Right, exactly.
And he talked about his little orange tee one day. He said, "Look how little his tee is, his orange tee."
Well, listen, I'm just glad.
Love you, brother.
I got to talk to you today, Tony.
Yeah, man.
And yet the fact that you remember that you still have that Philadelphia Eagles lamp. I was with Mom and Dad that day they bought that.
Oh, thank you, brother. That was down there. You guys, I'll tell you how good my memory is. Right next to Patrick Sullivan's, they got that in the antique market right there.
Yeah, right.
I never forget, brother. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
You're a good man. The great Steve Williams. 865-200-5402. Ain't that right, Cinco? You got to be concerned you're going to see TR because he's one of the fashion police, man.
Yeah, I made that mistake when I took my daughters out to Calhoun's one time.
Yep. If you don't have your orange on, bro, you're going to hear about it. Let's go back to the phones and get our next call in. Hi, welcome in. Hi, welcome in.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing
hey,
great.
This is Bubble Puppy Brian. I was just calling in about that picture you got from Kevin O'Neill.
Yeah, man. Hot smoking sassafras, brah.
Yeah, I was a manager for him and Houston first year of O'Neill, and so he'd had about about 6 of us managers. We'd sit in the room there, and he'd have stacks of. He had these books from up and coming players from like 6th grade, 7th grade up, and he wanted them to get something with UT on them weekly. So, I mean, we were sending out, thousands of letters a week, just repeatedly, because he was a hell of a recruiter. But we would sit in there and we would just sign it, "Go Vols, K. O'Neill, go Vols, K. O'Neill, go Vols, K. O'Neill." So there's probably about a 1 in 10 chance that signature is my signature, and probably about a 0 in 10 chance it was his. But it probably does work. It makes an impression on kids. He did have he brought in some good players.
He sent Ron Mercer a thing, and Sean Elliott talked about when he recruited him at Arizona too. he sent Elliot a thing that said it had a piece of gum, one little sliver of gum, and it said, "I'm stuck on you, Kevin O'Neill. I'm stuck on you, Kevin O'Neill." And he would get a piece of gum in the mail every day.
Yep. He was big on the repetition.
Yes, and he was big on the profanity.
Yeah, he was that too. Some of those stories you're talking about.
And he enjoyed the ladies. He enjoyed the ladies too.
Yep. So, you know how you call every time Joshy Boy calls, you call wings?
Mm-hmm.
I got a friend that actually sitting right here that he wants every time you call him Eeyore, every time he comes on and here, hey guys.
He's under wings.
Hey guys, this is Dave. Oh no, I mean Eeyore.
Dave is
Carey shouldn't play in the second half.
So should we
because
scream
he can't
ER?
hit a free throw.
What'd you think of Dave's conduct last night? Dave was disappointed we won that game last night. It bummed him out.
Well, I did find a positive. Ament played 38 seconds of good play there in the second quarter, and Fulke was there. Those were the two positives that I found out.
Bri, what do you think of the way people are not Negative fans, but they're really Negative fans? What do you think of that, Bri?
Well, when you're getting talked about like that, that means you matter.
That's right.
And I've been watching this for 60 years, and we're not going to win any games.
No, we're not. I love Negative acts like Kevin O'Neill's back coaching. Negative acts like Kevin O'Neill's back coaching. You know, it's like, what would you have done back then if I'd have told you, hey, we were going to have all this success, but in 2 consecutive seasons, we were going to beat Louisville by 20-plus points back-to-back seasons. What would you have said back then? Would you have ever believed that we'd be that good in basketball? When you were stuffing those envelopes?
And I would tell him that, I sat in the rafters up in that SEC championship game at the Blizzard 93, and it was 61-40.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, 101-40.
You were
They
part
had
of the franchise
41
then.
points at halftime. If they hadn't scored in the second half, we would have still lost.
Tell me about one little anecdote about the final season of because the kids need to hear this, about the final season of the Wade Houston experience.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just chaos. He was just too nice of a guy. He was too nice of a guy. I could see where he'd be a great recruiter and if he could get people in, he would sign people. But then back then you had to be academically eligible, and they couldn't get in. But I don't know. I love him. He's nice, greatest person ever. I can't remember. What I do remember is like the O'Neill stuff. I mean, you can't forget that.
My gosh.
So I worked there for one.
Yeah, were you there?
1 year, and there was a reporter, sitting on the side, and waiting for practice to be over, and he had nodded off. He's just sitting over there, and O'Neill takes the ball and just throws it and pegs him in the head and says, "Hey, I don't come to your place and sleep at your workplace." God.
And O'Neill would say anything to anybody at any time, anywhere, didn't care.
No, he was just a big bully.
He was a bully
or whatever.
Yeah,
he
was
to the younger people, me and the players and stuff like that. And
he told
probably to anybody, but
he told Hamer. He said, "Next time I see you lifting weights, I want weight on the bar." I mean, he got all over him. That's one of my favorite O'Neill stories. But when you meet people, and see, I was kind of close to him back then because I was a young kid and just sort of full of it. And he got kind of a kick out of me. So he would come on the show and use one of those old cell phones that you had back in the day. And he would call me from practice. Like while practice was going on, you hear the balls dribbling in the background. Brian, you remember those days, right? When we'd have Kevin O'Neill on and you'd hear the balls bouncing and dribbling. And one day,
I remember he had like a call-in post-game show after games. I remember that very well.
He broke the news on our daily show that Chris Brand was gone. I said, "So, Coach, what's up?" He said, "Well, Chris Brand just quit the team." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Yep." He said, "I told him his meatloaf was done too, and to get out of here."
That was one of the memories I was going to say, but I wasn't going to bring it up. But Chris Brand, he just was so frustrated, because I mean he played hard, but they were terrible. And his middle of practice, he just takes the basketball and just punts it, like Ray Guy up into the second story of Thompson.
He took all his clothes off, right? Did he take all his clothes off? Did he take all his clothes off too?
I don't remember that, but he just walked off the court. He's like, screw it, I quit, and just punted that thing and just walked off. So you had Chris Klein on there, and
Klein. There were some characters back then.
Yeah, there was. So
who was the guy that was Mr. Kentucky, Mr. Basketball in Kentucky, and we got him and he couldn't play a lick? Jerome,
was the left-handed guy. Wasn't his dad the Duncanstein guy?
Yes, Dr. Duncanstein's son, right.
Yeah,
but the gene pool didn't go down. What was his name? Brian, do you remember that kid's name? Somebody.
I thought Chris Brand was like Indiana's Mr. Basketball.
No, Chris Brand was. He's a white guy, but there was the guy from Louisville that was left-handed.
What was that guy's name? Hang on,
his dad was really good.
Yeah.
Then you had LaMarcus Golden, you had Stanley Caldwell.
Dr. Duncanstein's son.
Gannon Goodson, the chiseled man.
Thank you, brother. Good talking to you. Yeah. When you had Dr. Duncanstein's son and he couldn't touch a rim, that was that era of Tennessee basketball. Negative wants to call it a complaint after we beat Louisville by 20 for the second straight year.
Hey, how about Lute Olson altering his retirement so Kevin O'Neal couldn't take over the Wildcats?
I mean, it's pretty next level. And then when he finally got the gig, he like talked himself out of it. And I love O'Neal, but boy, you talk about a guy that was his own worst enemy. We come back on the other side, a guy who makes friends, influences people everywhere he goes, is a great ambassador for our faith as well. I'm talking about the great Watson Brown joins as we continue after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Hey there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. The holiday season is here, and if your plans include unwrapping your new home, then take advantage of less competition and motivated sellers while others are out fighting over parking spots at the mall. Smart buyers are out snagging deals on great homes, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and as always, go Vols!
T to the B. Hey. It's hour number 2 as I welcome you back. William Pattison in the playbook. And his fun and frivolity will be on the way shortly. Time is flying through the hourglass on this Wednesday. Race fans. And now it's hour number 2, which can only mean one thing. After that great spate of phone calls we just had last hour that really augmented what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Wednesday with Watson Brown. It's a craze sweeping the nation. I was over with my friends at Simpson's Meats the other day, Watson, and they were jam-packed
slam jam packed in there. And there was a guy that came in who looked right at me and said, "Man, I'm here because of Coach Brown." And I was like, whoa. So here we are as Watson Brown joins on the program. It's a Wednesday with Watson Brown and presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. And I want to remind you, family or corporate gifting, great, great gift this time of the year. Still time for you to act on that, or even through the holiday season. SimpsonsMeats.com. They'll ship anywhere in the world. And they've got a store in West Knoxville off Level Road. Look them up at SimpsonsMeats.com. Do that, do that, do that. Hey, Watson, as I welcome you in, I sent you a tape of Colton Joseph from Old Dominion. You are a guy that's broken stuff down for us here in the past. You've always been gracious enough to do that for us, and I really appreciate that. Have you had a chance to look at it, Watson?
Yes, it was what was there, Tony, was a highlight tape of some of his better plays.
Yes.
And you can't really completely judge one off of all these good plays. You got to judge a quarterback as much on his bad plays as his good plays to see where he's short and what he does is where he's missing something. But on those plays, a very quick release, really good feet, moves around really well, carries the ball a lot himself. Most of the passes he's throwing are RPOs, which are the simplest throws that you can have that or play action pass, because you're kind of going to one guy, one, maybe two. On the RPOs, one guy. There ain't even a check down on an RPO. Not a lot of drop back on there. I saw very accurate, quick release, a nice touch on the ball. The only thing I didn't see was just pure arm strength. There weren't a lot of throws where he just had to let one go and get it in there. But very talented kid as far as I could see on just that tape.
Watson Brown joining. Here's the issue that Duval's and a lot of schools run into. You and I were talking about it during the break. Like a lot of things, these agents have kind of taken over. And there was the other day, there were several that went into the portal all at once, and it was an agent-driven thing, as if to show, hey, this is the muscle we have, and we're controlling the market, and this is what we're doing. And I wonder from a Tennessee perspective, and Sean, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. But Watson, you're Tennessee, and you got all these needs on defense, right? And they don't think the McIntyre kid is physically able yet to go out there and take the pounding in a 13-game in a 12-game season and a 9-game SEC schedule. They don't want to do that to him. So, obviously, they're in the market looking for stabilizing veteran presence. And then we look up and we realize that 2/3 of the playoff teams are quarterbacked by transfer quarterbacks. And, football's always been kind of a follow-me sport. All these sports are. That's why we call them trends. How much would you, Watson, if you were Tennessee, prioritize a quarterback this season against that schedule versus getting your defense right? What would you put more priority on, Watson?
Both. You can't win. You just got to find a happy medium between both. You may be putting all your money in those two pieces, but you've got to have defense to win championships. Tennessee proved that this year. If they'd had last year's defense, they'd be in the playoffs with a shot at the whole thing. There's no doubt in my mind, but they don't. They didn't. So you've got to fix the defense, and then you got to decide. Quarterback is such a big decision. It's getting so hard on these coaches to me because you go recruit a really, really high thought-of freshman that you think a lot of, and then bring them in, and then if they're not ready to play in a year and a half or whatever, because most of these freshmen, Tony, are coming in January, and so in a year and a half, if they're not ready to play, in your mind, and you've got to go get another one, I don't even know if you'll get to keep him. because most of these kids will leave if they're not going to be the guy, because that's what they were told when they came in, or they wouldn't be coming there. Not that they would have played immediately, but as soon as the next one's gone, you're our next guy. I know what's being said, and then the money that you throw with it. So I think that's a tough call. And if you just absolutely do not think that the freshman you have, or redshirt freshman now you have, is the guy, you got to go, knowing there's a great chance you might lose the one you got. So I read with the Vanderbilt thing with the Georgia kid, Curtis, whatever, from Nashville, and one of his big statements was, they don't talk about the money. Of course, that's still a big piece, the number one piece. But the second piece is, one school's telling him he'll play quick, and the other one's saying, look, now we've got a guy coming back, and they say that was part of his decision. So these freshmen, it's hard, Tony. I think it's one of the toughest things. And it's getting to where now everybody they're bringing in a freshman, but if they lose them, because it seems like they're still going to the transfer portal, even if you get a top freshman.
As I say, 2/3 of the playoff teams are quarterbacked by freshmen. And then somebody keyed me to this yesterday, and I looked it up and put it on the blog today, but the amount of transfer Heisman Trophy winners is just astounding. It's like 8 in the last 10 years. Alabama had the only 2 that were homegrown, and Alabama has Ty Simpson now, who's one of the homegrown quarterbacks in the deal. But mostly these schools are going out, and they're either picking and finding somebody that falls into their lap, like the Redsliff kid fell into Tulane's lap, and they got into the playoffs after losing their quarterback, the Mensa kid, to Duke last year, who was highly paid. That was pretty well publicized. I think the figure that got out there was out of control. But Watson, here's the thing I hear. I hear some of these kids want 3.5, 4. Some of them are asking for $5 million. And you know what's crazy? A Texas Tech's probably going to pay it.
It just keeps going up, Tony, and that can't be good. It just can't be good for college football. Number one, they're paying the quarterbacks because everybody now, 20 years ago it wasn't true. Everybody now is running quarterback-oriented offenses. It all starts through that guy. And 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. It was tailback-oriented, and then good solid quarterback and maybe one really great receiver or something. Now it's so quarterback oriented. Everybody is quarterback oriented. And so you got to go get that guy. You're not going to win without him. You just nailed 2 of the biggest pieces for Tennessee, quarterback and defense. I mean, you've got to have those pieces. And so that's where the money is going first. They're telling me they're paying the quarterbacks on offense and the offensive tackles.
That's it.
That's where the big money is going.
Yep.
And it's going to keep going up. I was told the top ones were getting multi-year contracts, and there's somewhere around 2.5 to 3 million in the last couple of years. That's what it's been. And that's just friends of mine in the business that kind of keep me updated on that. It's going to keep going up. It's just going to keep going up. Then you get these schools that are in these cities where there's great opportunity for the name, image, and likeness to get more on the side. Well, a school that don't have that has got to take that on, because you're going to have to end up matching the money that they're telling this kid he's going to get. He's going to get this in a contract. Here's your opportunities. Our last quarterback had this, and this as far as doing commercials or whatever. I mean, it's tough. And it's just going to keep going and going and going until somebody and has got to make a decision on putting a cap on this stuff and slow this down.
Hey, Cinco, you know what it reminds me of? The Tennessee basketball deal. Tennessee basketball right now, their payroll, somebody texted me this last night. We were kind of trying to add it up on the fly. I was a little high on the air if you go back and listen to it. But their payroll in basketball is a little north of $10 million right now. $4 million of it's tied up in a true freshman, which gets back to this. Would you have been better off taking that money and dispersing it across your roster than adding a guy that's kind of an add-on piece for your ball club, as it now turns out. Obviously, hindsight's always 20/20. When it comes to these quarterbacks, Sean, the one thing these agents know, like Watson said, is there are three high-priced items on offense. There are your two tackles, and there are your quarterback, just like in the NFL. And then David Sanders next year wants to move to the other tackle spot because that's the more lucrative one, and he thinks that's going to happen. But here's the thing: the transfer from LSU is coming back next year, and they're going to tap him on the shoulder and say, "Guess what? You're going to that other tackle position." I know this is your earning year, but y'all can watch for that to happen, because I'm telling you right now, that's in play here, because that's part of that recruiting of David Sanders. But here's the other thing, Sean: where are we in terms of, in your mind? What's more important, fortify your defense or go get involved with one of these $4.5 to $5 million quarterbacks? What would you do, Sean?
Well, there's a saying that's been around that you don't win without a quarterback, and you don't win anything big without a defense. So, I'm with Coach. I think you find a fit for. I wouldn't go break the bank, but I think you find a fit for a quarterback, a guy that can make. Look, I'm convinced that Josh Heupel can take a good quarterback and make them very productive. He's done it with Hooker. He's done it. I mean, he got the most out of Joe Milton. He did it with Aguilar. I don't think you need the shiniest penny, but you have to go get your defense, because in the SEC or in the playoffs, you're not advancing without a defense. I'm just sorry. You'll be entertaining, you'll be fun, but you won't win big. So I don't want to straddle the fence, but I'm going to have to side with Coach.
Coach, tell me about this kid from ODU. If you're Tennessee and you could land him now, Florida State's interested in him. Clemson's interested in him. It looks like Dabo's found, shall we say, a little religion as it relates to the transfer.
No doubt.
As it relates to the transfer portal. It's funny when they walk a guy into the office and say, "Hey, you like your shiny house you're living in here and all the adulation you're getting? Well, guess what? You're going to start playing in the portal. Or we're going to find somebody that will." It's funny how these guys, Watson, how they see the light, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And the more quarterbacks that come out, and there are more and more, because they know they can make more money if they come out, maybe that would drop it just a tad with so many of them out there. That's what I think will end up happening in time. They're just going to be, every time you're on a team and you're in a group of five and you're making $500,000, and as soon as you come out, you're going to be making a lot more than that. There's going to be more and more upcoming. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah,
they're hunting the money, and I can't blame them. We set it up that way. That's the way this thing has been set up. So why could you get on a kid for doing that when you know that your NIL will bring you more than what you're making where you are, and that's about as high as they can go? That's why I've been saying all along, the group of five is going to be further from the Power Four every year this goes down. It's going to be further and further away.
Well, and then there's going to be Power Four.
That's just the way it is, in my opinion. And Tulane is one of the group of fives that's in a city, and it's a school that's got a lot of money and alums and people that are behind them. And so they're a little bit different, and who's in the playoff? Tulane. So when you've got enough money, you can stay with everybody. In the old days, though, you couldn't even catch up to them because what was on the side of the helmet, y'all hear me say that all the time, and I mean it so much. What's on the side of the helmet's hard to recruit against. It really is, because of the traditions in the past. But all of a sudden now, that doesn't matter near as much as it used to. And I mean not near as much. And so this is what's going to happen, guys. I don't think it'll go down till there's so many that come out. A little bit of law of supply and demand.
Yeah.
There'll be so many come out that the money will go down because there won't be as many chasing the same guy.
So here's the thing about this that's real interesting, and all these schools are having this conversation. Who's going to be the first to jump? Texas Tech and that Sorsby kid, he's got a girlfriend that's going to play volleyball there. And, his family just moved to Knoxville. And he said in a public quote last year at Big 12 Media Days, and Neyland Stadium's a place I've always been intrigued by. And then his parents showed up here, and people are putting two and two together. And I'm here to tell you, I think Texas Tech, and people I talk to, I think Texas Tech's going to, if they want him, they're going to end up with him. The Raiola kid from Nebraska, Watson, I'm not sure what to think of him. He's a kind of a faux version of Patrick Mahomes. He cuts his hair like him. He walks like him. He tries to play. He ain't Patrick Mahomes. He's like wearing a faux leather jacket around. You know what I mean? I mean, it's nice, but it ain't leather. It ain't leather, okay? I used to get so picked on as a kid because my mom would buy me those pleather jackets all the time, and those kids were brutal toward me, looking back on it. But what could little Tony do? He was 11 years old wearing a pleather jacket. People are asking.
And proud of it, buddy.
Damn proud of it. Hey, I was warm. I was damn proud of it.
That's right.
Dr. Z DDS saying, Tony breaking news, Lance Hurd coming. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that's been the conversation behind the scenes is if the guy comes back, they're going to have to switch him. And that guy's going to be in a money-making year, and they're going to do that because you got to keep your promises in recruiting to a guy like David Sanders, or they walk on you. That's how this whole
absolutely.
thing. That's how this whole thing works. So back to where we were, which is, are you better off in this market, like Sean said, going and getting a guy? I don't know, but you got to be able to identify him. Lane Kiffin saw something in that Chambliss kid. I think there are quarterbacks.
Yes, he did. But he didn't think. I don't think he thought he would be the guy. He was bringing in a really good, solid backup.
That's right.
He'll never admit that. I truly believe that. I think he thought Simmons, the kid they had, was going to be really good, and then he gets hurt, and this kid gets in, and he wasn't the starter. He didn't beat him out, and then he gets in, and he couldn't get it back because he just played lights out. So I'm going to give Kiffin the benefit of the doubt, but I think Lane took him as a backup. That's what I think.
I hear Tennessee's coaches, and you know the McIntyre folks, but I hear they're very level-headed about their son and the approach, and I hear their plan is to add somebody here, whether it's a big splash or a veteran guy, and keep the wheels on this thing this season with an eye toward those two guys duking it out in 27. And I hear that those folks are, kind of okay with that. I would think before you'd proceed in any of these things, Watson, you'd have to go talk to these families first, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. You've got to understand what's on your campus and how far will you go to keep them. I mean, that's a big piece of this. Everybody wants to talk about who you're bringing in.
Yeah.
I think a big piece of this for these coaches, from the head coach down, is who do we want to keep and how far are we willing to go? Because you got to make sure you don't lose a really good one because you won't pay him enough money, and yet you're bringing one in that you don't know as much about that you're paying more money to. So I don't think that's discussed enough, and I think coaches are learning that the hard way, and so they're going to work to keep the ones they want to keep, and you've got to start there. Okay, let's how much money are we willing to spend on what's here? And then how much money are we going to have to spend on to bring in with them? And I think it's two complete different things they're having to take a look at, and how much money are they willing to put in each pot?
And then you got people like Miami, Sean, that Matt Dixon made the point yesterday. They're not even pretending to recruit high school quarterbacks anymore. Some of these schools, Sean, they're saying, you know what? If this is going to be a budgetary deal, why in the world would I tie money up into two freshmen that aren't going to see the field next year? I'm going to go out there and live in the now, and I'm going to go get two guys like Lane Kiffin did, and I'm going to let it roll. And I guess every approach, there's a place for all these approaches, Sean, if you thread the needle.
It's hard to argue that. I think Coach would agree that a 23-year-old football player is more developed, maybe not more talented, more developed, more stronger, more experienced than an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You even these 5 stars, you're really just, it's a speculative, purchase because you just don't know. We've seen, and I'm not here to rip Nico. That whole, I guess Dante Moore may come out of the top of this whole thing, but that wasn't until this year. So it's look. I love George. I love Faison, et cetera. But when you're sitting there with investing a couple few $1 million into kids that are holding the clipboard, so to speak, boy, that's interesting. When you don't have a safety on the roster.
That's right. You're exactly right. And that's the conversation everybody's having, because I'm telling you, these schools, and I'm just hearing this, are kind of blown away by how expensive how much money these kids want. Now, Watson's got a great point. It's one thing 4 weeks out for you to hold me up and say, okay, $5 million, but that price will drop. If nobody comes a calling, if all these schools behave themselves, the problem is, and we used to say this, Watson, you remember these days back in the mid-'70s when baseball free agency first happened. Why won't these owners just behave themselves? And my dad looked at me one time at the dinner table and said, Tony, it only takes one. I said, what do you mean, Dad? He said, as long as the Steinbrenner guy in New York is spending that money, the other owners are going to be forced to spend that money. And that's exactly right. Only takes one. And Texas Tech right now is going to throw this thing all out of whack. And they don't care, Watson. They don't care about these other schools. If they throw it out of whack, do they? As long as they get in the playoffs?
No, they don't care. All they want to do is win. And that's all everybody wants to do. And you can sit there and say, I mean, there were a lot of people that said that Donald Trump just ruined the USFL.
Yes.
Because with his team, I think, who were they called? The Generals?
Jersey Generals. Yeah, Jersey Generals. Yep.
That he threw around so much money that nobody could stay with it, and it just ruined the league. And we better learn from that, because if college football, how far are we going to go with this? I mean, like we talked about, I brought up Utah last week, and you start getting in with this corporate stuff, and they're throwing around not millions, they're throwing around 100 millions, and how much control have they got then? Do you even have control of your own team and your own program? We better be careful. I'm just telling you. And everybody's going to do whatever it takes to win, guys. And as long as it's around straddling the fence or whatever, they're going to do it till somebody says you can't. And we put some kind of rules in place here. I love what Ed Ogeron said the other day. Did you all see it?
No.
He was talking about wanted to get back in. He wanted to get back in, and somebody asked him the question. He wants just to get back in as an assistant. Somebody asked him the question, well, Ed, you haven't been around this new way. You're behind the times a little bit. Will somebody hire you that way? And he said, it's a small difference in the new way. And they said, what do you mean? He said, well, in the old days, we used to go in the back door with all the money. Now we go in the front door with all the money. So I mean, it's so funny to listen. But if we don't finally, some way, and I don't know if it's a commissioner just for the Power Four, but we better find a way to get our hands on all this, guys. All you got to do is look at the NFL. The NFL's been through all this. They've been through exactly what college football is going through. When free agency became such a big deal right out the gate, they have learned how to put caps on things to keep it as equal as they possibly can. And college football is going to have to get to that point at some point. Till they do, they're out hunting money. That's exactly what they're doing. I know one of my first hires, if I was a head coach again, my first hire would be go get me money. Hire just a guy for football to go hunt me money. And take me wherever I need to go to talk to those people. And then the next hire would be my GM to take care of everything that you got to take care of today. But I'd have a guy immediately hunting me money, and that's his only job, because that has become such a big part of especially college football, because college football is the one with the numbers. College basketball will not have to get as high because they don't have the numbers. But you talking about the number of people being paid in college football. Tony, Sean, you got to have money, man. If you're going to get up there in today's world and win, you've got to have money. And look at a lot of the ones that are in the playoffs. and where they were before all this money started. It's unbelievable to me.
That's the deal, and that's the thing that is mind-boggling.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Well, you know what? I take a little bit different view of this because I actually like it. I'm not commenting on the escalating price, but I'm commenting on the fact that in my lifetime, college football has always been a monopoly. It's been a monopoly of Alabama, USC, Oklahoma, and some of these other schools. They were allowed to wink, wink, nod, nod, pay players with challengers down at Tuscaloosa, with other things at SMU, with this, that, and the other. And you take a look, John Wooden is a great coach. He wouldn't be John Wooden if he didn't have that guy back behind him in that payroll.
Sam Gilbert.
Mike Krzyzewski he would be a great coach, but everybody knows in the business that Duke pays the most.
Of course.
And has always paid the most.
Yes.
And it's interesting how the big boys only get mad when Texas Tech and Indiana start playing by the games. It's the exact reaction of that video game thing store stock that took down Wall Street for a couple weeks. Then everybody's got to put brakes on it because, hey, wait a second, we like our monopoly.
Well, and you know what's funny?
I like the thing that if Indiana and Texas Tech want to spend money, well, okay, well, let's see how talented you really are.
Watson, Duke plays games in Madison Square Garden every year. They schedule games and put them up there. You know why? Because that's where their money people are.
Yeah.
Right there in New York City. All those Duke grads, all those Wall Street guys. And that is the deal, Benny Hill. That's what Sean's talking about. Those are the guys that helped him recruit all those players all those years. Let's get real here. Come on now.
No, and I'm with Sean to a point. But when we start going and getting corporations throwing in hundreds of millions of dollars,
yes,
I think there's some point we got to get some control here. There's some point. Guys, if it keeps going like Sean says, if we just keep doing this and we keep leaving it open and it keeps growing, because it won't go down, in my opinion. It's going to keep growing.
Oh, no.
It's going to keep growing. Then there may not be an NFL left. These kids won't want to leave college. And then there's talk out there to extend the number of years you can play college football. It's look out, because there's no telling where this will go. It could very easily be quarterbacks. There are quarterbacks out there today, right now, that are making more money in college than they will ever make when they come out to go to the NFL.
There's no doubt
about that. They may be from a third down to free agents. No. And they're making more money in college than they're making in that they would make or are already making in the NFL. They have to take a cut and pay. So I just think they're going to keep trying to find ways to get more years to stay into college.
Hey, listen, you're already seeing that in college basketball. The sport's getting older and older, and why? Why in the world would I go want to ride the buses or go over to Europe when you're going to pay me? I'm this Gillespie kid. I don't know if he's an NBA player. He's making $2.5 million. If that Gillespie kid really would have hawked himself and not given Tennessee a hometown discount, he's a $3.5 to $4 million college basketball player. That's what they're doing. I mean, this is insane, the money that's flying. And all these years, Watson, all these schools told us, we don't have any money. What happened to that? What happened to we don't have any money? Under the old system. We don't have any money. I mean, are you kidding me? All right, let's move along. The playoffs are this weekend. And coming up on Friday night, we've got Alabama, Oklahoma. Watson, what is your view of that game at Oklahoma? Do they get Alabama for a third consecutive time, in your humble opinion?
Boy, that's a tough one to call, because normally, no, you don't. And Alabama would come in and just be ready to roll and play their best game of the year. I just don't know if Alabama can make the switch on offense that quick, guys. Neither offense has been very good down the stretch. Neither one.
Yep.
Alabama's defense has gotten better each week. They're better. Oklahoma's defense has been good the whole time. I don't know if their great pass rusher is back now from that pulled hamstring that he got or not. And if he's playing and it's in Norman, I still got to pick Oklahoma, just because I just don't know if Alabama can turn the switch. They can't run the football. Those are some of the prettiest offensive linemen you'll ever see. And why they can't get movement with that bunch is beyond me. But they cannot move the line of scrimmage.
Nope.
Haven't all year long. The only game they did was when they beat Vanderbilt, and they really did a good job of running the ball in that second half. And I think they just wore Vanderbilt down. I think that's what happened. And they ran it 9 straight times and went down and scored in a row in the fourth quarter. Since that game, they haven't been able to run it a lick. And I just don't know. They also have not protected Simpson very well in recent games. But when you can't run the ball and you got to throw it to make your living, and they're laying those ears back and coming after you, boy, that puts a lot of pressure on Ty Simpson. I mean, a lot of pressure. So I'm going to stick with Oklahoma a third time just because of the big question mark of the Alabama offense. All of us each week keep saying, Tony, it'll be this week.
Yep.
They'll bust out this week. Well, they hadn't done it. They have not done it in the last month at all, and I can't see the switch turning.
Presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, a great Watson Brown in the mix and in the hunt and in the hunt and in the mix with you today on the program. Online at simpsonsmeats.com. Makes a great gift at the holiday season. Our friends at Simpson's Meats. Say it, know it, and write it down. They raise and source their meat from farms on pasture on purpose. A family tradition that began on Jim Simpson's farm way back in 1888. That's many moons ago. You will taste the difference, ladies and germs. And if you don't believe me, just ask the great Watson Brown. And they have been blowing it up over at Simpson's Meats. We've got a poll question going up over at YouTube. Who would you like to see at quarterback? Would you like to see a portal quarterback? Would you see an Aguilar-type quarterback? Do you want G-Mac or Brandon? Right now, 33% of the people polled want G-Mac. G-Mac is leading the charge, which brings me to this before I ask you about the Miami Texas A&M game. And I'm going to ask both Sean and Coach S. Because, Sean, you were around in the why can't a guy like G-Mac gain 30 pounds between now and next year, Watson? Why is it not that simple when coaches talk about needing to put on weight?
A lot of times it happens, so it's going to be interesting to see. I know that Hendon Hooker got bigger and stronger in that off season. But frames, kids that I've recruited through the years, if you have a frame to put on weight, they'll put it on you. But if you're a tall, thin frame, sometimes it's just harder and takes longer to put it on.
Yeah, and he's
not that they can't, because I've had many of them put it on, but it just doesn't come overnight. And I think that's got to be the number one decision in the coach's office with the GMs and everybody else that they got in today's world is, can McIntyre be our guy? Do we really believe, do we just go get another one to back him up, or is our freshman even good enough to do that? Or have we got to go get one? And so nobody really knows the answer to that except those coaches in that room.
And even they don't know the answer.
And
the reality of it.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they do. Yeah. Maybe they do. We're going to know by the way they go out the gate here, and do they go get one or not?
Sean,
do they try to go spend a lot of money on one?
Hey, Sean, is it just different with tall guys like Coach says? Is that the reality here?
It certainly can be. We had a great kid named Robert Todd, who they recruited to be an offensive tackle, and he just couldn't put on the weight, and eventually kind of moved to a blocking tight end. But in this day and time, you're talking about so many years ago, there was only 3 meals a day back when we were in school. You might have some snacks here and there, but some kids these days have food allergies. I don't know if that's the case. Some people, gaining that weight is hard. It's not just, you think it's, well, put me in charge of just eating 8 meals a day. For a lot of kids that are thin, that's a job. It's almost another class to suck down all that. You feel uncomfortable. You feel bloated. You don't want to do everything. It's not as easy as they talk about. Some people, seemingly everybody puts on the freshman 15. Some kids just can't. And then some people just aren't built that way. God just didn't have them to put 40 pounds on.
Well, and the other thing is too, right? there does take a certain amount of weight. People laugh at this, Watson, but you can't put a spindly guy back there at quarterback in this league because he won't last. They'll be scooping him up with a dustpan and a brush. There is such a thing as being too thin to play in the SEC in the modern day, anyway.
In the modern day.
Guys are so big now.
I think he will. Will it be quick enough for this year or not? I mean, I read some things on Mendoza in Indiana, who was at Cal, and he came in a thin kid.
Yep.
Kind of the same way, and it took time, but he ends up growing into maybe the top pick in the draft.
Yeah.
So it can happen. So you just got to hope and pray if he's not ready, he understands that, and he'll hang around like Arch Manning did, and he'll hang around like Ty Simpson did. If he's not, and he may be, they may think they can get him there this year. I can't wait to see where they go. I know they're going after defensive guys. I know that. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And they're going to go after another really good receiver, in my opinion. But what are they going to do at quarterback? And if I give them any advice, make sure whoever you get's got really good feet. It's hard to play with just a pure drop back guy in today's game. You've got to have feet and make plays with those feet in the passing game, and then carry it enough times to where you keep everybody honest. Because everybody's saying, well, why can't you stop quarterbacks? Well, and when you call a quarterback run, the offense has one extra blocker on the defense. You have an extra man that you get to block, because usually the quarterback's handing it to somebody. That's why the read plays with the quarterback came into play. Okay, the quarterback's going to take care of this one. We don't have to block him off of the read. That's where the wishbone came from. That was the thought. You're always hunting numbers, guys, on offense. You want an extra guy to what the defense has to put out there. Well, that's what quarterback runs does in a different way. And so many people are winning with 5, 10, 15 carries a game. I mean, Pavia, what did he have against Tennessee? 20 carries, I think.
That's incredible.
In the game. And I think probably 12 or 13 of those were call runs in the game. So I just think they need to make sure the guy's got feet that can move around and get you a carry here and there when you need it.
That's why I want the guy from Old Dominion that I sent you the film of, because when I watch him, he's got the ability to improvise. He's got the ability to throw on the run. He's got the ability to keep his eyes downfield and let it go. He throws an okay deep ball.
He throws a solid deep ball. I just didn't see the arm strength. That doesn't mean he don't have it.
I agree with that. No, I agree with that.
I did not see that in that short tape. But the other thing, Tony, he likes to run.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of call runs on those tapes. Those weren't scrambles. A lot of those were call runs. He likes to run the ball, and I think that's an extra piece that if you can find that guy, he gives you an extra piece that everybody's hunting in the world right now.
The willing runner is a rare breed, and I don't blame those guys, because you're really getting hit when you run. Like, people want to bag on Pavia, and they talk about, well, he's 25 and he's this. And let me tell you something. He was running people over at the point of attack in Neyland Stadium because it was a Super Bowl, and he played like it. But let's go to the other playoff game that's worth mentioning. The other two are going to be kill job walkovers. One's a 21-point line in the Tulane Ole Miss game. And what they've done, Watson, is they're putting them on opposite the NFL games that are on Saturday, and most people are going to watch the NFL games, and that's going to be that. But Miami,
isn't that amazing?
It sucks.
It's amazing.
It sucks. Miami, Texas A&M, noon on Saturday, noon Eastern time, 11 o'clock your time. You're gonna wake up with some Saturday morning football, Watson, and that is one interesting football game. You've got two defenses that will hit the absolute fire out of you. Two quarterbacks that are kind of interesting players. Marcel Reed from the mid-state area, the kid from Georgia that transferred down who's like a box of chocolates. God knows what you're going to get out of him. The Miami head coach who's known for bungling a game or 20, but they've got a lot of material there. Two very good offensive lines. Two teams that kind of lay right on top of each other, Watson. How do you see this game in the 7-10 matchup? A&M hosting Miami.
First, I'll say Alabama. The only way they win is if they can handle the pressure. The 5-man or more pressures that Oklahoma brings. They couldn't in the last time.
No, Bama won't win.
If they handle that, they'll have a shot because they're not going to run the ball. They can't run the ball. You don't do that in a week.
Watson,
that's what I say about that game.
I can't pick a team to win any game of consequence. I don't know how Alabama got to a playoff not being able to run a football. They got on the field with Georgia and went for minus 3 yards.
It don't happen very often in today's world. It just does not.
It's crazy.
You can win a lot of games passing the football, but you can't win championships.
It's crazy.
If you can't run the football and have a balanced offense, you can't win championships.
Bye-bye, Bama. What about this game, Watson?
So this one, I think it's A&M. If Reed is healthy. Now, I think he sprained his ankle pretty good. They hadn't played since then. And he played the rest of that game with a sprained ankle. So I'm going to bet you that thing ballooned up big time. And it's going to be watching him move around. If he's well, I'm picking A&M. That is one tough place to play. One tough place to play. They're going to be ready. They're fresh. They haven't played since the loss to Texas. They're licking their chops. I put them in the mode of Ohio State of last year. They couldn't wait to get Tennessee there, and I think they can't wait to play this game. I'm picking the Aggies.
And the bottom line is this, Watson, and you and I both know this. In the modern era of Texas A&M football, that's the biggest football game they've ever seen on their campus.
Big time.
Huge.
This first time, it's like I said, this is their first time to get there.
Yep.
And so everybody couldn't be more excited, even with the Texas loss. And I know what that means. That is a big win or loss in that game every year. And now that they're playing each other again, that was a big loss. But they've had time to get over it and regroup. And I just think back at Ohio State losing to Michigan, and they just sit back, everybody raising Cain and upset and disappointed. But they gathered up, and I think that's exactly what Coach Elko has done. He's gathered them, and he's got them back on target with a great opportunity to have a chance to win this whole thing. I just think Miami they're going to pressure that quarterback. Their pressures, their pass rush pressures are as good as any in the country, and I think they'll control the run decent. And they're going to come after the quarterback, and I think he'll have a tough time with those pressures.
Watson, you're my main man. Much love to you, and I appreciate you, brother. You're the man.
Love you guys. Like I say always, it's always an honor.
The great Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, online at simpsonsmeats.com. Do I spend on a high-priced quarterback, or do I spend my money on my defense? Is a conversation well worth having. You know why? Because that's exactly what's going on internally at Tennessee and a lot of these schools. And don't fool yourself. The goal is to get to the playoffs next year. Here, there, and everywhere. These guys understand there is no rebuilding year. We're not going to get a buffer. We're not going to get fans that understand. We saw that this year. And I don't know why, but I was a little surprised by it. I guess I shouldn't have been. But I was a little surprised by the visceral reaction to some of those losses. And then people say, well, but we looked this way against Georgia. And many of you talked yourselves into believing something was there and that's okay. Look, last night I had 2 TVs on. I had the TV watching the Tennessee game and then watching the Flyers. And at one point, Laura looks at me and she goes, why are you getting so excited over a mid-hockey team? And I'm like, we haven't been mid in forever. We've sucked for forever. I love being mid. But even at that, last night I was thinking to myself, when I was laying down thinking about my Flyers, because they're a good diversion for me, We put in a lot of work here. And I was thinking, you know what? We're going to win a playoff round or 2. We have as much chance of winning in the playoffs as I do waking up tomorrow with a full head of hair. But that's what we all do. That's what we all do. The minute I see a little crack of light, I want to see the Grand Canyon. That's what we all believed last year after that Georgia game. Well, I didn't believe it. But people were like, And then after the Arkansas game, some people were calling me and they were going, "You're not giving Arkansas credit." I'm like, Arkansas's not going to win another game. What do you mean I'm not giving them credit? You're not giving Mississippi State credit. I was going, Mississippi State's not going to win another game. And I got it. I get it. I get the wanting to see it now. The thing about Heupel is, and these guys know this, we either, and I think that's why you saw him act with some urgency on the defensive coordinator. These guys know that the days of mulligans, that stuff is like out the window. But I do want to remind you one more time that Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. Look, you've got the holiday right around the corner. The centerpiece of your meal, you can get it there at Simpson's Meats, and it's going to be absolutely next level. Whether it is the steak, whether it's some chicken, whether it's something else from their list of offerings. But they've got steaks, burgers, sausages, roast, chicken, variety of local offerings at their butcher shop, the milk, the honey, the jam, the eggs, the more. And shout out to Sam Bruce and the guys there. It was incredible hanging out with you last week. Brian, you were going to say.
If A&M can get past Miami,
yep,
they're going to get to play Ohio State at the Cotton Bowl. So that's something to watch.
How wild will that be? Why do I get
on
the
New
feeling,
Year's Eve?
Why do I get the feeling, guys, that A&M's going to cough it up, just like they did against Texas, Sean? That they're going to revert to their history, Sean. Why do I get the feeling that's coming? And why do I get the feeling I'm way overdue for one? Watson Brown, you were wordy. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
The season of giving reminds us of what truly matters, community and connection. Hi there, Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. As the year closes, I wanted to take a moment to sincerely thank you, my Basilio family clients. Thank you for trusting me with your most important decisions. Whether it was finding your first home or successfully closing a chapter, your trust means everything. I look forward to new and continued relationships through the new year, and feel free to reach out to me at 865-694-5904 or nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and of course, go Vols!
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexial Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexial builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexial.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexial, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
That darn Watson Brown was so wordy. Let me flip it over to my main man on the wheels of steel. We're a little late. William Pattison hit it.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
That darn Watson Brown is so darn wordy. What are we going to do with him, Sean? Talk me right through that segment, man. I mean, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? You think we ought to put him on probation? Turn the films over to the commissioner?
Nope.
No.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to let a stallion run.
Exactly. This thing's gonna get interesting, guys. This portal thing and how the Vols pivot and how all these schools pivot, really. At the end of the day,
you said something that's caught my attention, and it's you were talking about how fans are impatient, etc. And I I'm okay with that. It almost seems like if you don't make the playoffs, you're pretty much on notice. And I don't have a problem with that. Again, I didn't do it, you didn't do it, but take a look at this. I mean, and I mean no kind of ill will towards anybody I say here, but Josh Heupel's not, so far in his career, he's not Phil Fulmer or John Majors. Those are Hall of Fame coaches. Those are John Majors should be in the Hall of Fame as a coach, but those are national championship coaches. You know, they didn't make, even if you take inflation, they didn't make anywhere near this kind of money. There's no one on that roster like John Henderson, Eric Berry, you name it, through the Manning, any of those guys. Fans are paying crazy premium dollars.
Yes.
To sit in the same chairs that they have been, and the product is not significantly better. If anything, I mean, give or take your Kicky Light show and Morgan Wallen, stream at the end of the third quarter. Okay, I get it. But no, you've said it before. These folks are glorified PE teachers making $10 million a year plus, with lucrative golden parachutes when they inevitably fail. I don't have any sympathy for him. I mean, it sounds like a kind of a gig that I wouldn't mind having.
I'll tell you this. I think these guys, like when a guy gets an appointment and gets an opportunity at a division, like a Billy Napier, right? And you get one of those gigs like at Florida, or this guy, the Summerall guy. I think when they sit down there at Destin, they all sit around a table and toast each other and go, man, welcome to the club. You made it.
Absolutely they do.
And laugh and giggle. And why wouldn't you? And here's the thing. Fire me from a gig like that, man. I made shit. You're going to put that kind of money in my pocket? Shit. You can fire me any day of the week.
You also said something.
Rip me on a talk show? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, something that's very interesting is because you take a look at what happened to Pruitt. You take a look at what happened to Sharon Moore.
Yes.
Back in the day, you look at what happened to Mike Dubose.
Yes.
These aren't things that someone woke up on a Monday morning, was alerted to something, and took action. These things have been lingering around.
That's right.
Then when you lose to Ohio State, well, let's revisit that. You're exactly right. When universities now can fire people for cause and wipe out any kind of buyout money, you bet your bippy there are going to be people on staff that are watching you under a microscope, and everything you do, every interaction you have, every rumor that's out there, they're going to take note of that. And
why wouldn't they?
$10 million, that's big money to a university.
Why wouldn't they? Brian
no one's gonna pay Jimbo. You don't want to be responsible. Excuse me. You don't want to be responsible for Jimbo Fisher buyout money. I mean, that's what cost essentially part of the reason the LSU guy lost his job.
Here's what we're talking about, because we didn't talk about this on the air. This is an off the air discussion. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, Brian Smith of the Ohio football coach has found that out the hard way. He has been fired for cause, relieved of his duties. The termination follows an administrative review of allegations that Brian Smith violated the terms of his employment agreement by engaging in serious professional misconduct and participating in activities that reflect unfavorably on the university. So you can read between the lines into what might have happened there.
Here's the deal. If that guy, Brian, what kind of record did they have this year? I don't even follow the MAC. How was Ohio this year?
They were in a bowl game.
Okay.
They're playing in the Frisco Bowl they're playing UNLV on the 23rd of December in the Frisco Bowl.
My birthday. Did they win the league?
No, they didn't. They didn't. They finished toward the top of the league, but they didn't win it.
Here's the thing. If that guy wins a league championship or has won multiple league championships, are you hearing about it today?
Nope.
No. Like Sean said, if Sharon Moore would have blown Ohio State out and made the playoffs, would that story have broken last week? Let me help you out. No.
Someone would have been paid off and it would have gone away.
Brian Kelly attempting to claw back money now. Would that be going on if Brian Kelly didn't literally implode in the middle of the field in Death Valley? No. It is, and these universities are very smart, here, there, and everywhere. If I know that you've done something to step out of the line, and I'm Danny White or I'm whomever, okay, I have a fiduciary, I have a duty to act on behalf of my institution and really myself to make a dossier on you and cut you loose. So we have a new college football term. It's the dossier. And I'm going to have a little book that tells me if you've been naughty or nice. And I'm going to keep it on you. I'm going to keep it on you. Because at the end of the day, if I can fire you without paying you failure money, I've done right by my school. If I besmirch you on the way out, now the Sharon Moore thing that's an egregious example of that. I mean, that thing blew up into outer space. But here's the thing: if that freshman would have been an incredible player, and they would have gone to Oklahoma and won, and they would have made the playoff, would we know about that right now? Once again, the answer is no. Tony, do you really believe that? I've been doing this for 30 plus years. Yeah, I really believe that.
So, speaking of which, there was activity being spoken of on his university-issued phone.
Let's go, man.
And I guess that's not very smart on his part. That's why you get burners. So he's learned the hard way.
Are we at Sharon Moore? Or are we talking about
Brian Smith, the Ohio coach?
Yeah, we're mixing our metaphors, but that's okay. Brian Smith, Sharon Moore. You do something on your. Why would you do something on your university phone? I'll help you out. Because I'm bulletproof. Guess what? To everybody in that profession, you're not bulletproof anymore. Here's the thing. We'll worship you while you're winning. Now, we want to claw our money back from you when you lose. The Pruitt thing is a great example of that. Tennessee said a couple times, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. They said it when it came to the hiring of Greg Schiano, and it was right of our fan base to do that. And they said it in the termination of Jeremy Pruitt 4 short years later, or 3.5 short years later, when they said, hey, by the way, we're not paying you on the way out. We're not paying you, even though he left him a pretty good roster. Now, I was glad to see old Cornbread get up from the jail without the bail the other day in court. And I hope somebody gives him an opportunity because he's a good football coach. And I know he's got to be miserable AF teaching kids to tie their shoes again back in primary SKU. And I do think that Cornbread knows material, by the way, Sean. I would have him as a general manager type. I'd keep him on retainer. Let him watch some film for me. That guy knew how to find football players, Cinco.
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know.
He left this guy a really good football team.
I don't want that Hoover Mafia around UT anymore.
No, but he left this guy a nice team. He's in jail without the bail. All right, my friends at VIP Play, then we go to the phones. College football fans, I'm encouraging you to go fill out a CFP bracket for a chance at free bonus bets. There is so much up for grabs here. It's the VIP Bracket Challenge .lovable.app. Again, VIP Bracket Challenge. I just tweeted this out. .lovable.app. And VIP Play, live always, 200 plus leagues. My Flyers continue to help me cash tickets. We're on a roll like never before over at VIP play. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee, but they're live always. 200-plus leagues. Bowl games tonight. Brian, are you desperate enough that you're going to watch those bowl games tonight? Will you look at that Old Dominion game?
Yeah, that's I don't really care much about the second game, but the Old Dominion South Florida game, I want to see Gas Pipe.
No, me too.
Do his thing one more time.
I want to see the Gas Piper.
That kicks off at 5 on ESPN.
Because I'm going to read about it. Not only am I going to watch Gas Pipe, but then I'm going to read about it in the Piper. And see if you're listening. That pops you every time. In the Piper. In the Piper. In the Piper. In the Piper. The Piper. 865-200-5402. On a day where I salute Tennessee for letting this Legend Bay kid get on with his life's work, whatever that looks like. Again, I don't need circuses around my football program. I didn't need the Nico circus 12 months ago. I didn't need the circus that broke out in the summer that some of you, and we did our special video over on YouTube that got several thousand views. People were, why are you talking about this? Well, I don't know, man. Why? Why were we talking about it? Could it have been because it was the story of the summer and it blew up in their face? Could it be that it was indicative of a kind of a program where things were kind of lax? And you better tighten up your game if you want to compete in this deal. And this Legend Bay deal, the kid don't want to be here, cut him loose. And I never, on here, when I saw that kid on social media, you're showing me what you really think when you're on social media. That's how I opened the show today. I don't simp. I don't simp for these guys. I don't care. I mean, when you're out there and you're saying what that kid was saying today on social media, what I wonder is, and I just asked this, right? Because we ask questions. How much money exchanged hands to get him to get that family to do what they did at that press conference? Because that feels like a charade now, a charade, if you will. And then can you claw it back? I mean, I saw somebody online say they saw where they gave him $30,000 or $50,000. I think it's got to be more than that. I don't know, though. Cinco was saying earlier, they pay these people in installments. I don't know how it works. But it looks like that kid thought he was going to go to Ohio State. And then he gets told right before they're all decorated with Ohio State. I mean, you look back on that now, right? It's all decorated with Ohio State stuff. And then you turn right back around and lo and behold, he's going to go to Tennessee, he's told, right? Like it's a hostage situation or something. I don't even know. And then he turns around and he says, well, on social media that day, he's acting out. I don't want to, I'm going follow my dreams when I turn 18. Cinco, we've seen a lot of weird stuff here. That was pretty damn weird. You have to admit it, Sean. We've seen a lot of weird things in our days here, Sean. That was pretty weird. For that thing to blow up was that signing day night, Sean, when that kid basically started acting out online? Or am I imagining that?
Which kid's this, Bay?
Legend Bay, yeah.
No, it was after the signing.
After that night.
I don't remember the whole chronology, but yeah. I remember there was if I remember in pictures, it was, he was around the cupcake stand and everything was Ohio State, which goes to show there was some planning there. Then there comes talk that he was flipping to Tennessee. There was the grinning like a cat Heupel at the podium talking about, how he wanted to come there and how he'd be a great, I think he used the word tool for the offense. Then you started hearing stuff from the Ohio State people that he didn't want to go there because he was 17. His mom and brother, forced him. Then there was a talk of he came out on a social media post and said, I'm not going to go where my brother and my mother want me to go. And then there was a picture of him recently catching a one-handed touchdown, I think, in practice with Ohio State gear on. And next thing you know, he's He's going to go to Ohio State, which I think he should. I mean, if this was any other kid at any other school, not in Orange, I think most of us would agree with that. But who knows? But no, you're right. Nothing surprises me now. And you know what? At the end of the day, it wouldn't surprise me if this kid was straight as an arrow and there were some nefarious things going on around him. A lot of people haven't presented that.
No, you never listen. In this day and age, and I mean you never know who wears the white hat and who wears the black hat in these deals. Could a parent and a brother sell a kid out? Now,
Absolutely.
I remember the Albert Means thing. What was sad about that, Sean, was the parent was kind of caught in the dark in that deal, right? They didn't realize all this money was exchanging hands above them. Isn't that right? And she got a little bit, but the handlers got a lot in that deal, if memory serves me correctly.
Exactly right. And I'll remind everybody, I sat at the table with some other people when Milton Kirk, who was the assistant coach at that time, told us about the whole deal. And that's how and the thing with that, the only reason it blew up was because not only did allegedly the head coach stiff the mother, but he stiffed Milton Kirk as well. And so Milton Kirk got lippy. And he explained it to the whole thing to us, afterwards, right in the middle of the Memphis Touchdown Club. And the weird thing was that guy's life was basically a disgrace, the head coach. And come to find out his wife became an attorney. I believe she was in law school at Michigan State or something like that. It made no sense. It's just pure greed.
Here's another one. CB Brent TV says, what about Nick selling Nico out? Here's the thing about Nico, and a lot of these guys. Did Nico come to school where he wanted to go to school? Or are you our breadwinner? You're a commodity. We're trucking you across the country. And I'll tell you this. I'm of the mindset now after watching Joey Aguilar, who appreciated every second of every day that he was here. I'm of the mindset that you wanting to be here, and I'm not trying to be Pollyannish here because you got to get players that can play, okay? But you wanting to be here in a sport like football, I think it reverberates around that locker room. I think that's an important component, especially with a quarterback. Now look, with a satellite player like a Legend Bay, a gadget, Hypo referred to him on signing day night as a tool, and somebody asked, well, what's going to happen with Tennessee's recruiting ranking? Let me tell you something. If you set your clock by a recruiting ranking, to quote Rob Halford, you got another thing coming. Get real. Get freaking real. And the other thing is, I hope these kids have their money. Like Nico, I hope one day he has money to start his life. Because the one thing that was apparent to me when you watch those people flying back and forth, and again, I'm just telling you this. My son's girlfriend, who's a sweetheart, lived 2 doors down from them where they lived in Knoxville. There were literally 1 million people there. I mean, we called it the compound on here. Now, I'm not a big mathematizer, but man, it's expensive in this world these days to truck people back and forth across the country. And it's expensive to feed, a nation of 3,000. So the whole thing's kind of sad. But this thing with Legend Bay, you look at that thing and you go, if you don't want to be here, I don't want you here. And I hope our coach got to thinking about it. This is what I want to hope, okay? And I hope they got to seeing that stuff on social media and they said, you know what, we got this kid's name on a signature, but we're going to learn from this. We don't need to bring him into camp. We don't need to hold, kind of hold him against his will. However you want to put that. It's a real, college football is in a real interesting state right now because I'm not sure even how you would describe it. It's borderline anarchy, Sean. Because back in the day, if I had your signature on a piece of paper, am I letting you out, Sean? Back in the day, am I letting you out? Now I'm paying you and I'm letting you out.
Not only that, if I do, I'm going to tell you where you can and can't go.
Correct. Now I'm letting you out and I'm paying you.
Look, all these college people, they can save it because all they have to do is collective bargain. That's all they got to do. And they won't do it.
And for the life of me, I don't understand why.
And they say, well, how can you collective bargain? Well, they did for video games.
That's right.
They did for other things. It's not impossible. Universities don't want the tag of employees or they don't want the trail of injuries or workman's comp or anything like that. Another thing that no one's talking, they don't want to open up the possibilities of workplace harassment, workplace intimidation, etc. They don't want any of that to fall on them. They want their monopoly.
And not only that, but now what we're seeing with these schools is they're getting hip to the hip talk, Bino. Because, and we're going to come back to this now. Then we're going to go to the phones. When I fire you now, I'm going to compile a dossier. It happened at Michigan. It just happened at Ohio. It happened at LSU. It happened at, who was the coach in the North? What was the coach at Wisconsin, Brian? Still in court, hadn't gotten paid. Who was the coach up there? There was not Wisconsin.
At Wisconsin?
No, there was somebody up in the Midwest that got fired from a gig, and they told him, you're not getting a dime because we've got the goods on you. And I forget who it is, but they're in court now. They're one of the ones that started it. Jimmy Sexton had apparently a snit fit over Penn State, or Jimmy Sexton rather, because they fired and they did a freeze out on Penn State or whatever. This thing is like, it's like mafiosi almost. Be a lot of stories going to come out from this era. A lot of stories. Lane Kiffin, back in his day at Tennessee, if they would have let him go after a couple years, under the current climate, wouldn't have gotten a dime. Would not have gotten paid a dime. It's Fitzgerald. There you go. Thank you. Fitzgerald at Northwestern. Thank you very little. I appreciate that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and they fired him for cause.
And he got a job recently.
And they told him, no shirt, no shoes, no dice, you ain't getting a dime. And it pissed off that profession. And they were the first to do it, as far as I could tell. Of course, we did it. They did it. There have been a couple more places who have done it. And now, Sean, I think it's going to become a common thing inside these athletic departments. I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to take a little black book, and I'm going to write that little indiscretion in. I won't correct you at the time. And I'll write that little indiscretion in, and I'll write that little indiscretion, and that one, and that text message, and that, and that. And by the way, when it comes time to settling with you, we're going to sit down with you and your representation, and we're going to push that book across the thing, kind of like police do when they're interviewing somebody, and they think they've gotten away with whatever they've gotten away with, and they go, oh, well, the reason I was asking you that, here are the receipts. And by the way, the old saying of keeping receipts, I've kept receipts on you. If you don't think, with what's at stake now, the way these coaches have these universities and these agents have these universities bent over all these years for this failure money, if you don't think that's going on, you're out of your mind. Because it's going on here, it's going on there, and it's going on everywhere. And if I can get out of paying you, why wouldn't I do it? Martin King's reminding me. He's right. They did it to Mel Tucker at Michigan State. Two of Fulmer's hires, two of Fulmer's three on his short list. And his short list belonged on a certain size bus, by the way.
Yeah, the other guy on the list was Alex French.
And
you take a look at other things. You get, and I think it's fair game, because the longest time agents would tell you that messing with these ADs and school presidents was like shooting fish in a barrel. And now the fish are shooting back. I mean, you take a look at, his name was trashed a bit, and maybe deservedly so. But you think if it was given this time, you think Butch Jones would have got a penny if I would have just said Matt Crowder?
No, you're exactly right.
Absolutely not.
The way he did the Helm kid, the way he did so many people, yeah.
Hey, by the way, Helm's still in the NFL, believe it or not.
Is he really?
Daniel Helm's been a journeyman tight end for a number of years. Yeah,
good for him.
But no, I don't think. But here's another thing. And look, am I a sinner? Of course. Am I a hypocrite? Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm as big as anyone listening.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just dumb enough to admit it.
Yes.
But for years and years and decades, coaches have been philandering.
Yes.
Coaches have been walking out on bills. Coaches have been taking advantage of people. Coaches have been bullying players, newspaper people, police, etc. Screw that. It's time the receipts came out.
865-200-5402. It's just an interesting time we're living in, because you don't know. Like in the case of this kid here, this Legend Bay deal, it's like, whoa. Tennessee cut him loose. Back in the day, you never cut a guy loose like that. Now, the fans are looking at the thing, at least I am, and I'm saying, you know what? Well, cut him loose. Cut him loose, man. There's so much more access to players now. But the thing I wonder, and I just wonder this, okay? When these guys flirt with schools, I remember there was a kid here, and Sean, you might remember, the statute of limitations haven't expired yet, so I'm not going to get into it. But during one of these coaching regimes, they paid this kid a bag, okay, as they used to say back in the trade. And then they went to the kid and they said, we want our money back. And he's ended up signing with Georgia. And the kid said no. And he's an NFL player now, by the way. But the kid said no. And the kid said, what are you going to do, turn me in? And you know what the kid had back then? A pretty good point. A pretty good point. Let's go to the phones. The point is that I don't know these days who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. We just don't know. We just don't know. And somebody's asking, what about the Kevin Steele thing? Yeah, Tennessee paid Kevin Steele like $700,000 one time to babysit their program for 2 weeks. And he sat in there and, I guess, played on his phone. I mean, college football's nuts, y'all. Nuts. And it does not look like it's going to, get any saner anytime soon. I'm talking rubber room stuff now. Can you imagine what goes on in the portal? I mean, can you imagine what goes on in the portal? God. It's an amazing, amazing time. 865-200, find 5402. So we're going to go back to the phones and get our next call in. Adam Sparks is saying, by rule, as a coveted recruit, Bay undoubtedly signed a lucrative NIL deal, but by rule, a university cannot pay direct school to a player NIL money until the player is either enrolled on campus, or on campus, which means UT hasn't paid him any money yet. Sean, do you believe UT didn't pay that kid money?
No, I don't.
I mean,
that was the whole thing with Missouri, passing laws that say kids could get paid while they were in high school. Of course, they get paid money.
Right. Let's go back to our phones.
I'm not, and by the way, I'm not here to debate the legality or what the law states or the rules are.
No.
If you don't think Legend Bay got some money,
to flip,
you're naive.
To flip? Come on now.
Oh no, no.
That's the point.
To think that he didn't get money from UT, that's ridiculous.
That's the point. And I'm a keep it real guy. I understand what the laws are. If we don't think these SET teams and these Big Ten teams that have dominated this thing, that have started their own playoff here, are coloring outside those lines, again, I'm going to go back to this. Under the old days, and they still do it now, but Duke played, and if you go back and look at their deal, their second home court is Madison Square Garden, or up there in the Meadowlands, where they would always ship them during the with a nod and a wink during the NCAA tournament. Do you know why? Because their fan base is a bunch of Northeastern Yankee elites. Let's go to the phones. And that's the truth. And that's a fact with my hand up. So let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. I'm proud of Tennessee for saying to Legend Bay, you don't want to be here, we don't need you. I hope that is the policy going forward for this coach and for every coach that will follow him. Because I got news for you. We've been playing football for 125 years, and we don't need these people. They need us a lot more than we need them. And that is another fact with my hand up. As we get our next call in. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Tony, Zach. What's up, man?
Hey, Zachy. Welcome in.
Hey, just real quick, I got kind of a good, if you were a headline writer for the News Sentinel, you could, it'd be a good one. You could write Bay Leaves today.
Bay Leaves.
Right?
Yeah, I like Bay Leaves. Are you an
I'll be here all week.
Are you an Old Bay seasoning fan?
Tony, let me just give you, yes, I am.
Yes.
But I wanted to thank you. About a year, maybe 2 years ago, I answered some question or did something, and you sent me like a box of spices from Calhoun.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this stuff, it's just called charcoal flavored.
Oh, my
grill
gosh, that's
seasoning.
blackened seasoning, brah.
I put it on my salmon. We put it on all kinds. So that's kind of where I'm at. But,
hey, listen, when you go blackened, as I told Bino, you will never go blackened because that stuff is phenomenal. I blacken everything. I blacken my chicken. If I made Wheaties in the morning, I would blacken it. It is phenomenal.
Yeah. Put that on some salmon. If you're a salmon guy,
yes.
like I am.
Yes.
Do you think that there's a movie with Tom Cruise called The Firm, and at the beginning of the movie, the law firm sets him up with kind of like a woman and takes some pictures of him to use against him later on. Do you think that schools are going to start doing this kind of thing to coaches, like making? I mean, I know they can do it to themselves, but do you think that that's going to be not necessarily that type of thing, but just doing, some hinky stuff to maybe get out of paying money?
Sure. You mean like honeypot somebody?
Honeypotting, yeah. That's
Why
exactly
wouldn't
what I was going to say.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's where I'm afraid that this kind of thing might go and could start ruining, like the young man from Michigan. Also, these coaches nowadays, they're a little bit younger. Maybe it's just me because I'm older, but it seems like coaches are younger now, which makes them even more susceptible to
being honeypotted.
Exactly, like our guy down in Florida, our basketball guy down in Florida.
Boy, he got it. Boy, and here's a great example of something. Here's a guy who was watching you every move, okay? He's a private eye, and he's watching you, woo, creeping on young women, creeping on ladies around town. They go and win a world championship last year.
Yep.
And how much did you hear
Never
about
happened.
that? Never happened.
To quote John Draper, you won't even believe how much this never happened.
Gaw! What a great lyric.
So, yeah, and well, that was from Mad Men, the TV show. But just real quickly, we went down to the Louisville game last night. I just wanted to get your thoughts. I looked at some of the highlights when I got home last night just to see what I might have missed, and I did like Amari Evans. I brought it up last night. Yeah. I think a couple other people commented on his stat line, but how about that 3 or 4 minute highlight run that Akpara had there towards the end of the game? I was just gonna see if you had any additional thoughts, or maybe even, I don't know, Sean. I know he doesn't really watch these basketball games.
I love how much I love how much he's grown. I was commenting on that last night, the way they've developed him. Look, he was a one-trick pony last year when they got him, and he could barely handle the ball around the rim. They've turned him into a functioning player on both sides of the court, and they've done a really nice job in developing him. He is a nice addition and a real asset to them night in and night out now.
And he's gotten stronger. You can
Much
tell.
Stronger.
And it's almost, the way they bring him up to the top of the, to the top of the arc, and kind of just, they don't run their offense through him, but they set him up there at the top of the perimeter. It's an interesting little, way to run it. But I'm still psyched over that. I'm not excited about any bowl games. I don't know if Tennessee, do they even have a backup quarterback for our bowl game? Anyways, I'm still geeked up over that Louisvile win, but I do also fear that coaches or that schools are going to try to do stuff to, not that they need any help.
Honeypotting.
Because a lot of them are, or something like that.
Yep.
So,
Thank you, my
brother.
brother.
We'll see.
Thank you.
See you.
Hey, it's a lot of money at stake these days. I don't think anybody's going to honeypot anybody. Look, the guy at Michigan was very reckless in his conduct and very cavalier toward his own family, which, again, that happens. I don't excuse it. I don't forgive it. But for years and years and years and years and years, had a chance to minister many men that fell into that. Hey, everybody wants to feel young. Everybody wants to feel alive. And everybody wants to feel like they're 17 again. So I'm not judging anybody, like Sean said earlier. But it's sad to see that. That was the first thing the first thing that my mind went to when I saw that story was the wife and the 2 kids, and what a human tragedy that is. Not a sports story, it's a human tragedy. Sean, he was talking about the physical prowess of these Tennessee basketball players. Thrody on Monday wondered if we have a strength and conditioning coach, or if that's just alleged in football. Sean, why we don't look more the part. Is that because we had a young roster this year in football, Sean? Is that what that was? Why people think that?
I think so, because we've had other teams that certainly look the part. I think it was just a young thing. But look, a 45-pound plate weighs the same in Knoxville as it does in Los Angeles, as it does in Miami, as it does in Boston. There's no new. As long as you're not juicing or deer antler spraying or whatever, there's no new stuff under the sun. I mean, everybody knows bench press, everybody knows squat, everybody knows plyometrics, everybody knows whatever. The bottom line is the accountability, and that all comes from the head coach. It's funny. It'll be interesting to see. I have a sneaky suspicion that the portal goes offense heavy again with Josh Heupel, because I'm not convinced that the getting rid of Banks was just a cast off to get off my back. Let's see if he puts his money where his mouth is and goes out and gets some legitimate defensive players.
Back to the phones we go. the gauntlet laid down. I sure hope they go 8 to 10 defensive players. And they don't have to be names we know, but guys that have had an impact elsewhere. Like impact players in whatever league, but guys that have shown on the field that they can play.
What's real interesting to me is watching, if you go to the portal and look at all the kids that were big deals in recruiting that week. Kai Bates is a huge deal as a DB, barely played in 2 years at Florida State in the portal. Nikar, Miami, a wide receiver athlete type that Tennessee wanted badly, etc. He's in the transfer portal, not doing much. It's a crapshoot. I mean, good Lord, the best of the best in the NFL get it wrong every single week, every single year.
It's very difficult, man. Back to the phones we go. And then the thing yet in this age, and we were just talking about it, when I give you what looks like life-changing money when you're that age, how do you handle that now? That's a new thing the NFL guys have always been dealing with that. Professional sports have, but now I'm doing it. We sped the clock up 4 years. We're giving 17, 18-year-old kids and their families life-changing money now. It's wild. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What's up, Tony? Grant in Birmingham. How are you?
Hey, Grant. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, I just got back from the game last night. I was here to give you my report on both the game and my experience down in the Riverside Danny Land. Had a great time last night. Basketball game was a very refreshing performance. I guess to start on the actual hoops itself, what I was going to say when I think I told you last week I was on hold after one of the losses is, to me, this team was set up. Obviously, we know we're a shooting guard short, but it has to revolve around Gillespie and Nate hitting shots from the outside. That's the only way it's going to work. At least at a if we're going to be a top 10, 15, Elite 8 type level. So that's why I kind of found some of the and Dave's right on some of his negative stuff about shooting guard.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, he is. Go ahead. You're making a
right.
good
So
point.
but to me, the answer, and again, we know you have the best sources of anyone in town. I know a few people who get to see some stuff behind the scenes. I mean, Amen is a great shooter, and last night he went 2 of 4 from three, hit the open three, but he has got to hit that shot like that. If he doesn't hit threes, then this isn't a very good team, or it's not nearly as good as the last couple of years. So Gillespie and Amen. I mean, obviously we want to bring guys along. If Abram can make a few shots, if Berg can make a few shots, that's great. But those two are going to drive your scoring. So last night we went for 22 and 13. So what's the math on that? 35. I would say in real SEC games, those two are going to have to score 35, maybe 40 a night between them. So it's just, to me, it's a pretty simple deal. Can they do that? We're a good team. I think if they deliver at that level, if they can get them to that level by March, I think we're a Sweet 16, Elite 8 type team. You roll the ball out and see what happens in the second week of the tournament. If they can't get them there, then this is a 7-8 seed that's going to take a little bit of a step back. And obviously the program is at such a high floor level. We're not going to fall off a cliff, despite what some people said. The last couple of games were frustrating. But the league's not that good. Again, I could be wrong. To me, the floor is still about an 8 seed because I just think we're going to defense and Barnes alone is going to get us 10 wins in the league, 9 wins in the league. But yeah, I just think again, it's sometimes you can make it complicated, but this team is as simple as Gillespie and Amen. Can they hit shots from the outside? And can they hit shots from the outside and can they attack the basket and score? If they do that, I think we got a really good team. Maybe not quite as good as the last 2 years just because we don't have as many weapons, but I think the ceiling's about the same. But if they don't shoot it like they did Syracuse and Kansas when they couldn't buy anything, it's going to be a different season.
And I was, last night on our Garza Law program, a fifth quarter or Tennessee basketball overtime, I was in the middle of that looking at that line, right? And I was looking at the other names, kind of like you're doing. And I was going, okay, what happens if Amen or what happens if Gillespie don't come to the party in a night? And the truth is with this team, you're going to lose.
Correct.
Because you're right,
yeah.
Grant. The points aren't coming from elsewhere. They're just not. They're just not.
Yeah, and I think last night Barnes said it in the post game. He made a great point of the one time in the game that I did not feel very good is we had to go that last 4 minutes of the first half with no Bishop had gotten his head beat in or whatever, and Amen had 2 and Gillespie had 2, And that was a very bad lineup on the floor, at least on offense. I mean, it was honestly crazy that we got away with playing that lineup for 4 minutes. I think it was like Henderson, Berg, Abram, and then 2 bigs. I mean, we didn't even come close to running good offense. And again, we got away with it. Credit to them. I think we maybe got a couple fast break points in there. Louisville was, I mean, they were dreadful. You said it on the post game. I listened to it this morning coming back. It was great stuff. You know, they were not very locked in last night. I think it was pretty clear once their guy was out. And I thought when the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half, when we stretched it out to 12 or 14, they were ready to go home. You know, they knew it wasn't their night. It was a December road game for them, and they kind of packed it in.
Well, and what do you make of? You talked about our why is that kid's name the Boswell kid? You talked about
Bishop Boswell.
What do you make of his value to this team and having a shooting guard that's, I don't want to put it this way, but he's so bereft of an offensive game, but yet with his grit and his guts, he's kind of making it work. Can they get away with that?
Yeah, no. I mean, to me, this is my eyeballs watching most of the games on TV and watching last night in person.
Yeah.
To me, he's clearly the third best guard. Clearly. And if you watch him in warm-ups, he shoots it well. I was watching him last night at halftime. Like, he's sitting there. A lot of our other guys, trust me, they're clanking him off the rim. And he has a good stroke. To me, we got to get him to be more aggressive. I mean, and I was with you all summer. I just was not high on his offense. I'm sure I heard the same as you did. This kid's going to be out of here next year.
They didn't think he could play.
And to me, he's clearly the best. He's clearly the third best guard, even scoring-wise. I mean, obviously defense, he's the best player we got. But to me, because the thing I like about him, he attacks the basket. He will go strong at the hoop. Now, again, the shooting, it's clear he just is not super comfortable with it. Like, he doesn't want to pull the trigger. But, I mean, to me, he is clearly, because I thought that was a big last night when he went out. I assumed he just kind of got, bumped and he'd be right back in. Well, he missed the last 10 minutes of the first half.
No, he got
and I thought I thought we really missed him. Like, I thought it made a big difference. I just don't think you get the, right now at least, Berg and Abram is just, they're not in the same zip code of, like, being able to defend the ball and to take someone off the dribble.
All right, Grant, you had your laminate. You had your wristband.
That is what I really came to report on.
You've achieved immortality. And I would like a full report now on the Dannyville and the paying the full price underneath the arena. You do all that to pay the full price. Tell the living listener what they're missing here.
Yes, and I want to give the caveat. I did not pay for my ticket last night. It fell in my lap. Awesome experience. Very thankful for it. Great game. All those caveats go into this, of course. I will say, I walk in the arena it kind of felt like a little bit like Neyland, what people said. I felt like I kind of had a private entrance under the arena where the media walked in. I walked in with my brother at the same time last night. They immediately placed a lanyard over my neck and a wristband. So it was doubled up. I had 2 different things that were put on me as I walked through the gates. So, we immediately are starting the life of luxury walking into the Food City Center. Overall, my thoughts, all jokes aside, I guess this is me being very naive and not, I don't live there, so I don't see the day-to-day construction. I guess I assumed when they talked about this Riverside Club over and over, I guess I was dumb and just assumed they were going to knock out some walls and maybe you would be able to see the river, because you are, you're right there on the Tennessee River. You walk in the arena, you see it. I was obviously very mistaken. There's no view of the river. The Riverside Club is merely... I guess they did knock some walls and made a little bit more room. That's honestly the first time I've ever been down underneath like that. Basically, I felt like what you're paying for is you kind of get. It's not even private because there's plenty of people with access. There are concession stands under there and there are bathrooms under there. And again, I had a great time. It was a great experience. I cannot imagine forking over thousands of dollars for that to be the extra privilege you get to go order a $15 smash burger at halftime just in a separate line. But that's just me.
It's full price. It's full price. Okay, here's a funny story. Buddy of mine was down next to the Boozer guy, Cameron Boozer. He goes up and gets some stuff, and he buys like $130. And she rings him up, and he looks at her and says, "Huh?" And he pulls his credit card out. And I'm sitting there going, "Welcome to Dannyland, my brother."
Yes. No, there's definitely no doubt, because I had the same thought. I was like, is this going to be, free food you're down here? But no. It is just normal. And again, I will say they had some nice smash burgers. Looked like it might have been a little nicer than the normal concessions. But no, those were $15 smash burgers and the same $5 Coke and water and $15 beers that you had upstairs. So anyway, like I said, cool experience. I was glad that I got to do it, but no, if I was a high roller around town, I don't think the ROI on Danny's Riverside Fortress Lounge Club would exactly be where I want to spend my money. But hey, it was a great win. We've all talked about it.
Yeah.
Winning makes things a lot better in any sport. And that was a big one. It was a big one. We needed that win. We got it. So it was a great experience all in all. But yeah, that is my report on Dannyland.
Would you recommend it? Would you recommend it?
A lot of badges and wristbands for, a marginal amount of return. So.
Hey, thanks, man. A buddy of mine called me and he said, I don't like having a wristband and I don't like wearing a lanyard. And people are looking at me like, who are you? And he said, I don't like that at all. I don't like being partitioned off from the rest of the stands. I don't like that kids can't move down now and get near the court to get autographs. They've got this thing totally cordoned off now. It's like an us and them deal, which is not what sport is supposed to be about, y'all. We've commodified sport to the point where we've turned it into a caste system. I can still remember as a kid, and it's one of the things that drew me to sport, was seeing the mayor of the city sitting down there with the guys that had the blue collar jobs, and everybody were all just kind of sitting around each other. And this is back in the day when the tickets weren't just totally outrageous. But now what we've done is, and people like Danny White don't understand it because they're not wired like I am. So he and I would never see eye to eye. We just wouldn't. He would look at me and he would go, what does that have to do with anything? I got to get as much money out of this place as I can. And if I can make these wealthy people think they're getting a value, the problem is I hear people tell me, Tony, they're making us walk like a mile from the G10 thing. And on these cold winter nights, we got to walk all the way around now because they've got some kind of bizarro thing where I got to walk underneath. I can't even go in like I used to go in. Yeah, you can't because it's all cordoned off now. So I don't know. But I'm glad that he enjoyed an $18 smash burger. Tough crowd. Cinco, any final thoughts
for us? What all
us?
does the smash burger have on it?
I have no idea, Brian. You know what a smash burger is, Brian? Where they take it and smash it into the ground? Sometimes they step on it before they cook it, Brian. Only bare feet only. Cinco, any final thoughts here on the way out?
No, I don't think so. I'm glad you told me that ODU was playing.
Let's go.
And then Gastamore may be playing tonight, so I'll watch those two quarterbacks a little bit.
No, the ODU quarterback's not playing, Sean. He opted out.
What's that?
The ODU quarterback opted out. You won't get the chance to see him.
Yeah, he's not playing. Colton Joseph.
It's total. I know, it totally sucks.
No,
Gas pipe.
I watched enough.
We saw Gastamore.
I love the hype, but every time I watched Gastamore, he was throwing interceptions here, so I can do without that.
He was one of those you only live once type of guys.
Oh, yeah. He was a YOLO,
You only play one play type of guys.
You only get one play. You only live once.
Might as well might as well go for the downs, right?
Oh, hey.
You can't hit can't throw a TD unless you just hand it off.
Gas Pipe was a Dos Equis guy. Gas Pipe was going for Dos. He was a Dos Equis guy. He was going for Dos on he was all in.
Yep. No, but great win last night by the basketballs, and hope they keep that up. We'll see. And Tone, as always, I thank you and Brian for having me. Wednesdays are always a highlight of my week.
That was fun, brother.
See you,
thank
Sean.
you. Tomorrow we're back with you. Matt will be in the house. Brian will be in the house. We love you. We appreciate you. John Adams will be in the house. Thank you to Watson Brown. Friday, we're going to be live at Smoky Mountain Brewery, beautiful Maryville. And we love you. We appreciate you. G to the B to the O. And have yourself a great day. Be blessed. If you miss Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime, like Grant saying he got part of his drive-in from Birmingham listening to that show, that warms my heart, man. And I know we have people that drive from the Tri-Cities. We did 90 minutes last night to help people get home. Generally, those basketball postgame shows aren't going to go 90 minutes, but some will. The big ones will. We love you. We appreciate you. Have a great day. Be blessed. G to the B to the O. If you missed any portion of today's program, we run it back for you because it was Legends Day today. Legends Day, we talked about Legends Bay on Legends Day, and we talked about, a lot of things here, but I'm of the mindset that I want people on my team that want to be on any of my teams I follow. I don't need to kiss your ass. We have 125 years of history. I have to play your music in my stadium. You made me king. I change a lot of things. But that's another story for another day. I don't need to blow you, okay? Sorry. Here we go. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily